Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are live for another live commentary stream during Speed Week's 2023 edition, and it is the NextEra Energy 250 at Daytona as it's time for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series to take this 2.5 mile high banked super speedway and get their season kicked off with a bang here today. We are not too far away from the drop of the green flag for today's race. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and so far tuning in all throughout Speed Weeks. We've had some great live streams over the last couple nights with the NASCAR Cup Series. We had qualifying on Wednesday night. We had the dual races last night. But now it's time for the lower series in the NASCAR ranks over the next really 48 hours, maybe closer to 36 hours, but needless to say, it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into today's race. Billy Kramer, see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. First one in the chat right now. We had almost 200 people watching in the dual race live commentary stream yesterday, so we'll see if we can top that here today. And now Tom Gwaltney with the command.
For NextEra Energy, Tom Gwaltney. Drivers, start your engines!
He looked absolutely stoked to be doing that. I would definitely give it a similar enthusiasm if I was in that same position he was. But thanks for everybody tuning in. This is going to be interesting to say the least. I really have no words to describe exactly how this race is going to go, other than the fact there's a lot of inexperience in the field this year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. A lot of these drivers have never ran in the NASCAR Truck Series that are running tonight, or at least a full season's worth of racing coming into today, whether they're in top equipment, whether they're in mid-tier equipment, or maybe even some at the very back of the field that we'll see in back marker equipment throughout the course of the season. But it is a blend of a lot of young drivers. Needless to say, really there are no former champions in the Truck Series this year outside of Matt Crafton. Zane Smith is back trying to defend his championship that he won last year, of course, with Front Row Motorsports in that number 38 car. Another former champion in the field would have to be, well, not necessarily in the NASCAR Truck Series, but Chase Elliott running tonight for the Cup side of things. More on him in a little bit. Missing one. Ben Rhodes. That's right. Ben Rhodes would be the other driver. So only 3 former champions in the Truck Series running in this race today and running for another championship again throughout the course of this season. So there should be quite a bit of parity throughout the course of the field. We're going to see a lot of first-time winners, and one of those could come today at a track we usually see a lot of first-time winners, especially in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Cup Series regulars, or at least drivers that will be running the Daytona 500 on Sunday that are running in today's race. We have exactly 4 of them. NASCAR Cup champion Chase Elliott will be making his Truck Series season debut today at the Daytona International Speedway. Travis Pastrana is actually going to be in this race as well, as he had qualified his way in on time earlier in qualifying this afternoon, just as he did for the Daytona 500 on Wednesday night. So he'll be in this race as well in the 41 truck. Corey LaJoie looking very fast in practice and qualifying leading up to this one. I think he could have a shot to win the race today. He'll be starting in 5th, obviously running full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series this season. And the last driver who is making his start on Sunday that is in this race, as I got to find him on my list here. Actually, I think that might be it. Yeah, that is it. I thought I had 4 names on here. No, just 3. Just 3 names. I don't know if maybe I was thinking Kyle Busch for some reason. He is not in this race, just as an owner. He's got a couple of trucks in the field. Sorry for that. We have 3 drivers that will be racing on Sunday in this race. I don't know why I thought it was 4. I was searching around. Maybe it was Matt DiBenedetto. He's been out of the Cup Series for a little bit now, but yeah, never mind on that. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, in the chat. Terry Lewis, NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, Dale Campbell, Seth Thomas, Angel, and Outlaw Motorsports Upton, Ice Demon King 92 Hammer. Demos, thanks for tuning in. Got 40 people watching already. The command has already been given. Trucks are still on pit row waiting to pull off of the pit lane. The race is on Fox Sports 1 tonight, for those of you wondering. We'll go through the starting lineup, though, to get you guys familiar with who will be racing in the Truck Series, not only tonight, but some of which, obviously, throughout the course of the season as well. Nick Sanchez qualified on the pole with a blistering fast lap time earlier, a lap time that was fast enough to qualify him on the pole in the Daytona 500 of a 49.4. He was over 0.2 of a second quicker than second and over 0.6 of a second quicker than third in qualifying. A brilliantly fast lap put down. He'll be one to look out for today. Ty Majeski, who made it to the championship 4 in the Truck Series last season with a few wins under his belt, is going to be starting in the 98 truck this season from the 66 team to the 98, but still at Thor Sport. Thor Sport also will move from Toyota to Ford this season, so it'll be interesting to see how he'll do on the outside of the front rows where he will start. Jack Wood and Christian Eckes will be in row 2. Jack Wood racing the 51 full-time this season for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and Eckes is going to be in that 19 truck as he is no longer running with the Thor Sport team, as he will be now running in that number 19 truck that was ran last year by Kraus. Corey LaJoie and Matt Crafton will be in row number 3. Crafton has never won at Daytona in his NASCAR Truck Series career. He's been in the Truck Series for a long time. He is going to try to find a way to win. Last time I think he was leading on the final lap of this race. He was upside down back in 2017, so hopefully he can stay out of trouble today. He may be a driver that could compete for the win. And again, Corey LaJoie, one of 3 Cup regulars coming into this race, or at least one of 3 Cup drivers who will be racing on Sunday in this race. And honestly, I'm just going to say it right now, Corey LaJoie is my pick to win this one. Jason White, Matt DiBenedetto will be in row number 4. The Rackley Roofing team of Matt DiBenedetto will have him drive that 25 truck full-time again this year in the Truck Series, and I think he's going to have a really good shot of making the playoffs with the driver lineup that we have this season, and now he's got his second year in him. He was able to win at Talladega last season, so he could be a force to be reckoned with tonight. And Jason White driving that 1 truck, qualified pretty well through both sessions, obviously getting a top 10 there, but I don't believe he is running full-time in that 1 truck this season, so it'll be interesting as a part-time driver to see what he can do. Carson Hocevar and Chase Purdy will be in row number 5. Carson Hocevar is running full-time in the Truck Series again this season in the 42 team, still in search for his first career win, came close many times last year. And Chase Purdy, who has to drop to the rear of the field for the start of today's race, despite qualifying in the top 10, will be running full-time for Kyle Busch Motorsports this season as well. Derek Kraus and Haley Deegan will line up in row number 6. Haley Deegan moving over to Thor Sport Racing full-time at number 13 this year from DGR. So we'll see how she'll do as she stays in the Ford development program. And Kraus, we mentioned moments ago, was in the 19 truck last year. He'll be running in the 20 full-time this season. Corey Heim and Chase Elliott back in row 7. Chase Elliott, again, full-time Cup Series driver running in this truck race today. Zane Smith, defending champion, will start inside of row number 8. Grant Enfinger to his outside, making a full-time season with that GMS race team for the second consecutive year. Roger Carruth and Dean Thompson will start back in row number 9. Roger Carruth will be running full-time in the Truck Series this year in that 24 truck his rookie season. Tanner Gray and Sammy Smith will line up in row number 10 as well. Sammy Smith will be running full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but he's getting a start here today in the number 17 truck for Tricon Motorsports. That was DGR last season. They have rebranded their name and have switched from Ford to Toyota. Colby Howard and Brent Holmes will be in row number 11, and a couple of Chevrolets there. Stuart Friesen and Parker Kligerman will be in row 12. Friesen made the Final 4 last year in the Truck Series, and this year, not off to a good start in Speed Weeks, qualified in the 23rd place position. And Parker Kligerman going to be running full-time in the 75 truck this season. He'll be going for a championship. It'll be fun to see how he'll be able to do that, as he won a race last year in Mid-Ohio in that 75 truck, so I think he can definitely be a championship contender this season. Ben Rhodes and Travis Pastrana and Ben Rhodes will be in row number 13. Rhodes, former champion, and Pastrana again making another truck start. He was able to make a couple truck starts a couple seasons ago, but getting some extra seat time this week in particular for the Daytona 500. Tyler Ankrum and Cody Rotorball will end up being in row number 14. Daniel Dye coming up from ARCA in the 43 truck will be on the inside of row 15. Chris Wright, the 02, to his outside. Row 16 will be the 31st place starting spot, and the 84 truck will be Clay Greenfield. Timmy Hill in the 56 to his outside. Row 17 will be Chris Hacker and Josh Rayum. And then Mason Massey and Jason M. White will be rounding out the field. We have 2 Jason Whites in the field, so we're going to call, just as the Fox broadcast is probably going to do, Jason White in the 1 truck will be Jay White. That's what they had him under as far as in qualifying, like on the ticker. They had him as Jay White, and then Jason White will be in the 34. But yeah, we have 2 drivers with the same name, and I think, if I remember correctly, I saw on the internet earlier in the week that it is the first time in NASCAR history that in the top series that we have 2 drivers with the same exact name. Now, their middle names are different, so on our leaderboard it'll say Jason A. White in the 1 and then Jason M. White in the 34. But that may get confusing throughout the course of the day, especially with them being a super speedway if they're both up there in contention. TRG Tornado, thanks for tuning in also. Yeah, put your picks for who you think is going to win today's race in the chat. We got 70 people watching already, and the race hasn't even started yet. Again, hit the like button, run that up. We had over 100 likes yesterday. Our goal is to hit 100 again today, and we'll see if we can go well beyond that as well. Subscribe to the channel also if you haven't already. We have live commentary coverage still coming up all throughout Speed Weeks. Tomorrow we have a double header. We'll be doing live commentary for the ARCA race and the Xfinity Series race. ARCA starting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the Xfinity coverage starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, our Daytona 500 on Sunday, that will start at 2, about 45 minutes roughly before the drop of the green flag. We'll go live on Sunday for the biggest race of the season. So can't wait, getting this underway. Moments away from the green flag dropping in today's race. Lights are already out on the pace truck. They have a half a lap of pacing speed to go until we end up going green.
Lead some laps, have some fun. This is the start of a great season for you here, so just take advantage of all of it and enjoy it. Just remember to have some fun. Yeah, I'm ready.
That was Nick Sanchez's radio again. 21 years of age, making his truck debut today. And it'll be from the pole at one of the most famed racetracks in the U.S. In the world, really. Got to be having some goosebumps going through him right now. He's got to feel some sort of nervousness. Once he gets up to speed, I think he'll be okay, but this first half lap may be a little worrisome maybe for him mentally. Field working their way off of turn 4. Pace truck on its way to pit road. We are about to go green in the NextEra Energy 250 at Daytona to kickstart the Truck Series season. A win and you're in the playoffs. Only 16 races in the regular season, so every race matters, but especially more so in the trucks because there isn't that many races to come by. Inside lane was selected by Sanchez. Both trucks spin their tires to the front of the field as they get going. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing at Daytona under the lights for the second consecutive night. One truck got shifted up to the outside lane and dropped back. The top 4 have about 3 truck lengths back to the 5th and 6th place trucks behind them of the 1 of Jay White and the 88 of Matt Crafton. Side by side, all the way through the field off the exit of turn 2, waiting to see who may lead the opening lap of the race. Inside, a lot more coordinated for now, but the pushing at the front of the field on the outside will propel the 98 truck of Ty Majeski to the lead into turn 3. The 19 looks to pull down in front of the 2 of Sanchez, elects to stay on the outside last second, and by about 2 car lengths off the exit of turn 4, the big lead is the 98 of Majeski. Field is coming up behind him, a block to the outside to hold up the 19 truck there of Christian Eckes, his former teammate, and Majeski by half a truck length will lead the opening lap. Sanchez remains the lone truck, or at least the lead truck, down on the bottom. Christopher McComas, Wade, Ethan, thanks for tuning in also. Already lane changing at the very front of the field. Didn't see that too much in the dual races last night, but seen it a lot by the 98 truck of Christian, that was last year, the 98 truck of Ty Majeski. Matt Craftsman going to rocket the 19 of Eckes to the front of the field. It looks like Christian Eckes is going to be able to lead lap 2 after the big push from his former teammate Matt Craftsman. And caution flag is out also off the exit of turn 4. Sounds like we've got debris. Oh, rain, actually. Rain in turns 1 and 2, bringing out a caution on the second lap of the evening. So again, caution is out for rain in turns 1 and 2. It doesn't really look like on the in-car cams and the dash cams in turns 1 and 2 that there were really many drops. So we'll see how this is going to go and monitor it closely. But Christian Eckes in the lead at the time of the caution. The radar looks pretty optimistic, though, too, so quite surprised, honestly. NASCAR being safe, of course. Last time NASCAR was at Daytona back in August, we had a rain caution, is what I would necessarily call it, but the big one struck with about, 30 laps ago, 20 laps ago, in the Summer Cup race at Daytona. Took out well over half the field. Almost the entire field. I think there were only like 6 or 7 cars without damage that actually finished the race. In large part due to that wreck taking out over 20 cars. But there was rain in turns 1 and 2 as the field went in and everybody literally lost control at the same exact time. And there was nowhere to go. So an early caution on lap 2 for rain in turns 1 and 2. But we might just get back to racing right away because it doesn't really look like anything too major unless they come back from the commercial break and it's just an utter downpour, but I doubt that that will be the case. Mark my words. Bruce Buckner, thanks for tuning in. Pulling for Haley Deegan. Cody Ware fan, thanks for tuning in. Serious right now? It's unfortunately, it's rain. We got 2 laps in. I don't think they're going to red flag it. It didn't look like there was too much. Obviously, if it stays steady for long enough, they'll red flag it so they don't have to run too many laps under caution. But this is only a 100-lap race, so they have to get to either the end of Stage 2 or halfway to make the race official if we did see any major amount of rain, but obviously they can't call it just 3 laps in. Rain tires at Daytona. The track just has too much banking. It wouldn't work. If it were more strung out because of like a road course situation at Daytona, that'd be one thing, but now when you have a pack of trucks or cars steaming at like nearly 200 miles an hour, well, I mean, they wouldn't quite get that fast in the rain, I doubt it, but that would still be, you're asking for a disaster. It would not work. Dark Crypto, thanks for tuning in. Over 90 people in the chat already. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And like, subscribe. Early going to this race. Only 20 laps, by the way, in Stage 1. So with these laps ticking by under caution, not a lot of time for drivers who started deep in the field outside the top 10. Notable drivers at that to try to get back in the top 10 to get some points. Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, outside the top 15. Probably 2 big championship competitors. Stuart Friesen still outside the top 20 where he qualified. Corey LaJoie was that truck that got put 3 wide on the outside when they bottlenecked after the leaders had spun the tires on the initial start. So he went from 5th place starting spot all the way back to 22nd before that caution flag had come out. on lap 2 off the exit of turn 4. We do have some trucks on pit road right now.
He won the Daytona 500 3 times. Denny Hamlin, is he your favorite, Phil?
I think so. I mean, again, we've talked about it before as we see the 20 of Derek Kraus on pit road. You can get lucky one time maybe and win a Daytona. You're not going to get lucky 3 times.
Derek Kraus came in, so did Tyler Ankrum. Ankrum didn't have a great qualifying run earlier today, so not giving up a ton of track position. Now, here's a great story. Chase Purdy, running for Kyle Busch, great in qualifying, makes it to the second round earlier today, meaning he's going to start no worse than 10th. Flat tire, can't run in the second round. So officially he starts 10th, but because they had to change the tire, unapproved adjustment, he drops to the rear. Heartbreaking for this kid.
Yeah, but he made some good progress. I was looking at the scoring monitor when that caution came out in just 2 laps. He was up around the top 25. So he has a great truck. I know he's excited about this season, and look for good things out of Chase Purdy this year.
So we topped out at 188 people watching the stream, by the way, last night. So definitely appreciate all of you tuning in. I was really looking at the analytics to see what it was because I haven't really looked at that at all yet today. But again, we'll be commentating Truck, Xfinity, and Cup races all year long on the channel. And of course, with this being Daytona 500 week, had some live commentary for the dual races last night and qualifying for the Daytona 500 on Wednesday. Looking at, there we go. That's the stat I wanted to find. Yeah, so people that have watched the channel over the last 7 days, so during Speed Week so far, that are subscribed, only 40% of you. So we have 60% of viewers that may be watching this race right now or have been watching these live commentary streams over the last 48 hours that are not subscribed. So definitely hit the subscribe button. It's free. All you got to do is click a button. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it, though. Right, everybody that does tune in on a nightly basis. We have almost 100 people already, so I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. So we're on lap 6 here under caution. Again, there was rain in turns 1 and 2. Now, the field is doubled up. They will be going green this time by. So the caution came out for light rain in turns 1 and 2, but nothing major to put the trucks onto pit road under any sort of a red flag situation. We'll get back to racing pretty soon here. But again, only 20 laps in this first stage, so it may up the ante a little bit on this restart. Pole sitter Nick Sanchez back in the 5th place position here in the early going. Got 40 likes on the stream already. Appreciate that. Lights are back out on the truck, the pace truck that is. So they will not be going green this time. They'll be going green the following time by. They'll give it another lap. Has to be some sort of a light sprinkle. Oh, no, they are out. Okay. Looked like they were on still. Maybe I was looking at the caution lights on the fence. But those should have been out too. So whatever the case was, we are going green this time. Eckes elects the inside lane for the restart. Craftsman will be on the outside of row 1, and we're back to green flag racing at Daytona. Top 4 trucks kind of pulling away from the 5th and 6th place trucks on the restart with the bump drafting going on, and as they enter turns 1 and 2, they'll separate a little bit more, and that will allow the other trucks further back to try to close back in again. And now we have another caution. Turns 3 and 4, more rain on the racetrack once again, so another caution, less than a half a lap following the restart. I think Christian Eckes was still scored as the race leader. He was side by side with Crafton, so they'd have to go back to the last scoring loop to reset the field. Yeah, this is a little bit of a frustrating start, I'm sure, for fans, drivers alike, at the track, at home. It is what it is in this situation. NASCAR kind of caught in a tough spot right now. It's not a heavy enough rain that you wouldn't want to bring the trucks onto pit road necessarily and stop the race, because they may just have to fire them back up right away. But the problem is that we have ran only one completed green flag lap so far as a result of this, was starting the race. And it's only a 100 lap, 250 mile race as it is. Got a fake Patrick Mahomes in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. %0 chance of rain, Daytona Beach, Florida, but it's... Yeah, they showed the radar. There wasn't really anything there. And the cameras aren't even really able to pick it up either, but NASCAR obviously sees something and taking a safety precaution out of this. I think a lot of this is just based off of what happened in August last year with the Cup Series. If that didn't happen, I guarantee we probably wouldn't even be under caution right now, and it would have been green flag racing this whole time. We'd probably be close to the end of stage 1, considering it would have been green the whole time. And the first stage, again, is only 20 laps. William Ayers reacts. Thanks for tuning in. Again, laps winding down even more now under caution for this first stage specifically. There were a few trucks that pitted under that first caution, topped off on fuel, maybe made some light adjustments. Chase Purdy, Tyler Ankrum, Derek Kraus, and Zane Smith were some notable drivers at pit. All of those guys were already mid-pack or back in the pack, so they didn't give up a whole lot of track position. Tyler Ankrum also came in. See if anybody pits this time. For those drivers that are in the top 10 or at the very front of the field, I think they're somewhat liking this. As much as they would probably like to get back to racing, this is less laps they'll have to play defense to get a large amount of stage points in this first stage. Zachary K, thanks for tuning in also. Mike Sherritt, welcome. Florida native. Jimmy Cantor, thanks for tuning in also. Leader of the race currently is Christian Eckes in the 19 truck. Four wins last season for Zane Smith, 19 top 10s in those 23 races. And obviously won the championship. Also won the season opener right here at Daytona as well. And he's trying to go back-to-back. He'll be running part-time in the NASCAR Cup Series as well. And he'll be running on Sunday in the Daytona 500. That was the fourth driver I was thinking of earlier that is running the Daytona 500 that is in this race. The reason why I wasn't thinking of him is because he's not running in the Cup Series full-time. But he will be running some Cup races for Front Row Motorsports in the 36 and 38 cars. Todd Gillen, I think, was scheduled to run, 29 or 30 of the Cup races this year. Zane Smith, the other 6 or 7 that Gillen will not run. One to go signal given to the drivers once again. Travis Pastrana is currently on pit road. Likely going to top off on fuel, I'd have to imagine. He's got like the same paint scheme for both his Cup car this weekend and the Truck Series. And especially for the sake that Pastrana is not racing for points, I mean, you might as well get him out of the middle of the pack. Especially with the fact that we have only ran one completed lap. When we go green, there's only going to be 10 laps to go in stage 1. So it is going to be a very aggressive restart. And it is going to be a 10-lap dash to try to get inside the top 10 for everybody that is running for points here. We do have some drivers not running for points, though, that are up in the top portion of the field right now, like Sammy Smith up to 14th. He's running full-time in the Xfinity Series. Chase Elliott, obviously, Cup regular, is in 7th. This is Travis Pastrana's 6th career start in the NASCAR Truck Series. 42 career Xfinity starts. Mentioned the other night he had 4 top 10s. That was in a full-time season he ran for Roush back in 2013. But another caution for rain, I hope not. It's only going to be more and more frustrating. Fans in the stands have to be wondering, like, what the heck? It's not raining. They haven't spotted it on the front stretch as far as I've heard. Turns 1 and 2 the first time, and turns 3 and 4 the second time. Green flag back in the air again. Kraus selects the inside as he did on the last restart. Crafton on the outside of row 1. Matt DiBenedetto in the 25 truck on the bottom right behind the 19 of Eckes, trying to give him a massive shot. Eckes out in front, chooses to stay on the bottom. And the ThorSport teammates, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3 on the outside of Crafton, Rhodes, and then... that is a 98. It's Crafton, Majeski, and Deegan. Matt DiBenedetto giving a major push now to the 19 of Eckes at the front of the field. One truck bobbled on the bottom mid-pack there. It looked like it might have been Jay White, the one truck. Top 2 pulling about 2 to 3 car lengths ahead of the rest of the pack into the tri-oval. And a major run coming now, but nowhere to go for Sanchez, who's the 3rd truck in the bottom lane. But to lift, get out of the throttle, not hit the 25 in front of him too hard. And the outside couldn't stay coordinated enough to really get alongside the 19 either. Kraft to get another push on the back straightaway. Can't lock bumpers in the truck in the Xfinity Series. Only pushed for so long before having to let go. Don't want to have to force NASCAR's hand in how long is pushing for too long. So these drivers definitely try to let go as soon as they possibly can. Once they get that momentum and has surged forward enough to at least clear another truck, whether it's the outside or the inside lanes. Crafton tried to side draft the 25. Matt DiBenedetto right now. Crafton may have had to lift up out of the throttle a little bit off the exit of turn 2. Looked like he bobbled just a hair. And now getting another push, though, on the back straightaway to get that momentum running forward as he pulls clear in the middle of turns 3 and 4 all of a sudden. 98 truck bottoming out in the middle of the corner. Crafton is definitely clear off the exit of turn 4. He'll stay on the outside with his teammates now move down to the bottom to block the 19 of Eckes. Crafton will lead his first lap of the race at the line. Eckes back to the inside, though, in the center of the tri-oval. No major push that time from the 25 of DiBenedetto. Down to 7 laps to go in stage 1. 2 by 2 all the way through the field right now. And nose to nose for the lead in turns 1 and 2. Back and forth go Eckes and Crafton at the front. And the 2 push trucks so far have been Matt DiBenedetto on the bottom behind Eckes. And the 98 truck of Ty Majeski behind the 88 of Matt Crafton. Another major push back straightaway. That's going to get Crafton again. A clearance into turns 3 and 4. He'll go down to try to protect the bottom lane, not give the 19 a major run this time. Wants to stay connected with his teammates, I'd have to imagine, on the outside. It's going to be interesting to see how big of a run they may get. Because if they have too big of a run, they're not really going to be able to check up and let Crafton get back up in line with all the trucks in line behind him going at full speed. You can only do so much in that situation. Crafton again, though, back to the outside, which is going to give the lead on the bottom to the 19 of Eckes. Five and a half laps left now in stage one. Outside lane fading just a bit. The 2 truck of Sanchez, who's the 3rd truck on the inside lane right now, is clear of Crafton, who still leads the outside group. Crafton getting pushed off the exit of turn 4, but with not being able to lock bumpers for a long period of time, it's going to be tough to actually get him in one full straightaway all the way back up to where the leaders are. But one way or another, the ThorSport trucks on the outside are fading. Chase Elliott is also in the outside behind the top 3 ThorSport trucks in the outside lane. Crafton now goes down to side draft Sanchez on the inside in turns 1 and 2. So he's alongside the 3rd place truck now. A little bit of a gap built up between Deegan and Majeski. Now they'll connect bumpers on the back straightaway. That'll push the 98 to the back bumper of the 88. Now he'll give Crafton a little bit of a shot. Meanwhile, on the bottom, though, simultaneously, Matt DiBenedetto constantly pushing the 19 truck of Christian Eckes, trying to keep that inside lane as far ahead of the outside lane trucks as possible. Another big wiggle by Crafton as he got a shot off of turn 4, but he's hanging on to it. And back into the tri-oval again, trying to side draft the right rear corner panel of Sanchez on the inside. Trying to stall the inside lane's momentum out as much as they can in the corners, while on the straightaways they get a little bit of a run off the banking of the racetrack compared to the inside, and that's where the bump draft could be the most effective for the outside lane cars. Back to the top 3 being clear again. Chase Elliott pulls to the bottom lane, and now the numbers are starting to fade on the outside lane trucks. Massive push. Crafton and Majeski. There was a hole on the bottom that Crafton could have tried to slide in line between the 25 and the 2. He did not. He stayed on the outside. One truck gets sideways. That was Sanchez off the exit of turn 4 as he got a push from behind from Jack Wood in the 51. Keeps his foot in it, holds on to it. 3 laps to go in stage 1. Usually more often in the truck series, or in the Cup Series than the Truck Series, we see crashes towards the end of the stages when fighting for stage points on these super speedways. So these drivers, although they're being very aggressive, have to be thinking big picture. They might want to be a little bit more patient in this situation, while trucks further at the back of the pack starting to really back off now with the intensity picking up at the front of the field. Zane Smith, Raja Caruth, a couple of those drivers doing just that. But the top 15 or 16, though, all trying to battle at the front. 2 laps to go into the tri-oval this time as Eckes will lead this lap by inches at the line over Crafton, who is now pulled back to the outside of Eckes. Eckes gets a push going into turn 1 from the 25. That's going to launch him clear of the 88 of Crafton again. He's been very consistent with holding himself on the bottom. He hasn't tried to make a move to try to block the 88 yet, even with the clearance that he has been able to have on multiple occasions. And now it's Matt Crafton who will get pushed. They'll move down to the bottom. The 88 and the 98 move to the inside, so now Haley Deegan going to lead the outside lane, but she's still about 4 trucks back, with DiBenedetto now being the 4th truck on the inside all of a sudden. Majeski moving out. He makes a move on his teammate. He's trying to go for the stage win himself, and he's going to take the lead in the tri-oval with 1 lap to go in stage 1. A lot of bobbling going on with a lot of aggressive pushing on the front stretch that time into turns 1 and 2. Matt Crafton now behind his teammate on the bottom. Majeski made a move for himself, looking for a playoff point and 10 regular season points for winning the stage. Big run on the outside, but the 98 of Majeski doesn't block it. Eckes will get the run. DiBenedetto with him. Transfer of lanes now between the 2 trucks that were leading both lanes on the top and bottom. Now they're reversed. Door to door off turn 4, and the 98 got loose. The inside checks up. They're 3 wide with Crafton going up the middle as they're fighting for stage points. This is going to give the stage win to the 19 truck of Christian Eckes. And there was nearly a massive crash as they were coming to the first green-white checkered flag of the night. They have made it to the end of stage 1, but there were a couple moments in those last 2 to 3 laps where there could have been an accident and there wasn't. They'll live to survive another lap. Ed Kittle, thanks for tuning in. Ty Majeski got a little loose off the exit of turn 4 as he was about a half a truck length ahead of the 19 of Christian Eckes. Outside lane was able to keep the momentum up as the inside had to check up, or in Crafton's case, he had to go 3 wide up the middle was actually the safest situation there to try to give the 98 as much room as possible to make the save. Wasn't quite as sideways as what we saw Todd Gillen last night in the dual race, but he was a little sideways off the exit of turn 4. These vehicles get the most light when they're coming off the banking of the racetrack onto the straightaway, because it didn't really look like he was getting pushed by Crafton when he got a bit loose. So your stage 1 results will look like this. Christian Eckes wins stage 1 tonight. Matt Crafton 2nd. Matt DiBenedetto 3rd. Ty Majeski 4th. Haley Deegan 5th. Nick Sanchez 6th. Carson Hocevar 7th. Tanner Gray 8th. Jack Wood 9th. And Grant Enfinger will round out the top 10 in stage 1. Stage points are awarded to the top 10 at the end of the first 2 stages of the race. 1 point per position from 10th all the way up through 1st. First place getting 10 points. 9 for 2nd, all the way back again to 1 for 10th. So a lot of caution laps due to potential rain. In that first stage, we saw about 11 of the 20 laps ran under green, including the last 10. Once they went back to green flag racing, and no accidents to record through the first stage, but 3 cautions so far today with the stage break and then the 2 light rain cautions. The first one in turns 1 and 2, and the second in 3 and 4. Robert Goodwrench, thanks for tuning in. Sideways is sideways no matter how sideways. This is true. It was definitely a moment, and he had his hands a bit busy on the wheel, but a good save nonetheless by the 98 truck of Ty Majeski. Dirt racing background probably paid off pretty well for Majeski there. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll likely have some pit stops coming for you. Unless you have YouTube Premium, then I guess you're good to go. Which I highly recommend it, because I listen to music on YouTube, and that's so easy for me to go ad-free. But of the racing we've seen, yeah, pretty good so far. When it's edgy, it can get edgy. Here are pit stops now.
The pit stops earlier this week, and he said it's its own art, and it was his experience in cups that has helped him be so proficient at it. It was a fuel-only stop for this team, and with Haley Deegan in the number 13, relayed to her team that she's losing the nose on the front end. It was a fuel-only stop for her as well. Regan?
The 19 to Christian Eckes, a small adjustment on that truck. They went with a little more than they wanted to, just to get ahead of it for later in the race. A little bit free with it right now.
See, gas and go for most of these teams, but we saw Zane Smith come in and put 4 tires on his truck.
I think that means he didn't like his truck.
I would think so too.
His handling improved.
Here's a little stage 1 recap. Christian Eckes, 2nd career stage win. Matt Crafton hangs on to finish 2nd. Solid run for Matt DiBenedetto. Haley Deegan, good start to the year. Nick Sanchez starts on the pole. The rookie ends up in the 5th position. Stage 2 coming up on FS1.
How often will I be covering races? Anytime I'm not actually at the racetrack, so quite often. I do plan on going to a handful of races again this year. Those races, I do race highlight videos from the grandstands. So there is at-track coverage, just no actual live commentary like you're seeing today. But for Speed Week's a little longer with doing the dual races last night and then qualifying for the Daytona 500 on Wednesday. I don't usually do qualifying, but because it's the Daytona 500, wanted to make sure I did it. I knew a lot of people were probably going to want to watch it. It was on FS1, so I figured that I'd do commentary for that one. But as far as the Truck Xfinity Cup Series goes, every weekend. We'll be back at it again next week on the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series go to Auto Club. So you got the rest of the action this weekend yet. And then I will be doing live commentary next week. I'm not going to any of the races on the West Coast swing, so I can tell you right now that the next handful of races, you can tune in right here on the channel, and I'll be giving you guys live commentary. Losing the nose, but fuel only. I'm sure they probably made a wedge adjustment. I think they meant fuel only, meaning fuel only, and then making the adjustments, I'd have to imagine. They just didn't take tires. Didn't really do a great job of actually further explaining that, I guess. But either that or they didn't tell the reporter what adjustments they were making, which crew chiefs tend to do from time to time. M. Costin, thanks for tuning in. Kenneth Clark, welcome as well. Subscribe after the race. Should subscribe now. Helps me out a ton. Helps these streams out a ton. Hit the like button if you haven't done it either. We got 54 likes on the stream. We're over halfway to our goal, and we just wrapped up stage 1. Appreciate all you tuning in, though, here on this Friday night. Trucking at Daytona. So it looks like after pit stops, Tyler Ankrum will be the leader. Now remember, he pitted during those rain cautions, topped off on fuel, so he has been able to cycle to the front of the field as a result of staying out of the pits during the stage break. Chase Purdy has done the same thing, as well as Friesen, Parker Kligerman, Travis Pastrana. Obviously, we saw him pit. So Matt Crafton in 7th place would be the first driver who won the race off pit road. So the top 6 stayed out. Top 6 stayed out because they pitted during the rain caution or cautions there, and everybody else ends up hitting pit road. So those drivers that did pit during the rain caution, they will be able to make it on field to the end of this second stage. Stages 1 and 2 are both 20 laps, and then the final stage will be 60. So that means that they're really only going to have to go about 30 laps on fuel, and that's not even counting the caution laps during the stage break here, which there will be technically 5 caution laps during the stage break, because when they go green, we'll have 15 laps to go in stage 2. Sunshine Cool Water, thanks for tuning in. Terry Pitonza, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I said your last name correctly, Pitonza. Samuel Sander, thanks for watching as well. Try to shout out as many of you guys as possible. It's easier for me to do that under the cautions and stuff, but during the green flag action, especially at super speedways and short tracks, it's like non-stop, so I do the best I can. Reminds me of listening to MRN back in the 90s. Top-notch professional at calling races. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that comment so much. I try to give my appreciation back to you guys as much as I possibly can with comments like that, but it's what motivates me to keep doing it, keep trying to get better and better, because I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm glad you enjoy. Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Mike Joyce, thanks for tuning in. Sounds similar to Mike Joy, just got the extra CE on the end of it. Connor McLean, thanks for tuning in. How'd DiBenedetto fall back? I think he took tires when he was on pit road, because he finished in the top 10 at the end of stage 1, so he got some stage points there. There were a mix of drivers that went fuel only. Top 6 stayed out, and then pretty much everybody from Hocevar and Crafton on this restart on back ended up pitting for at least fuel only. So you get further back towards around 20th. Green flag is back in the air. It'll be the 16 and the 52 on the front row. Ankrum in the 16. The 52, of course, of Stuart Friesen. Ankrum on the bottom, Friesen on the top. Parker Kligerman is up inside the top 5 after staying out of the pits there. He's a very good super speedway racer. 2 career truck wins on super speedways back in the Red Horse racing days. And now he's pushing Friesen, trying to get him out in front as the 16 is clear. Moves up to the outside and now back to the bottom. The 9 truck got really loose. Middle of the back straightaway after a push from Chase Purdy. So the inside lane ended up losing a lot of momentum there. The 75 stays connected to the 52, and Friesen is out in front trying to lead his first lap of the race. and lead this first green flag lap of stage number 2. 16 pulls back to the inside, but the lap will be led that time by Friesen by a little over half a truck length. Travis Pastrana holding in on that outside lane. Also stayed out of the pits after pitting during the rain caution. Getting his first really experience at the front of the field in a race truck or race car this weekend at Daytona. Just getting more seat time for Sunday's Daytona 500. Massive shot again from Chase Purdy to the back of the 9. That time he kept it straight and then used that energy to push the 16 truck back out to the lead into turn 3. Top 5 right now have Tyler Ankrum in the lead, Stuart Friesen second, Colby Howard third, Parker Kligerman fourth, and Chase Purdy rounds out the top 5. 3 by 3 now starting to form out towards the outside of the top 10. 4 trucks have now gone to the outside lane, that third lane up near the wall. Corey LaJoie, Matt DiBenedetto, Ty Majeski, and Christian Eckes are those 4 trucks, and they're making headway towards the front of the field. And the further they start to go up, the more trucks that will likely follow see that momentum and work their way up there. It looked like Corey LaJoie almost got into the outside wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Now another truck moves up. Travis Pastrana trying to lead the outside. He gets a little bit of a push, wiggles in that outside lane. His teammate Carson Hocevar is underneath him in the middle. The 52 again getting pushed by the 75. Once Pastrana moved into that third lane, they kind of stagnated a little bit. But 3 by 3 from about 8th or 9th place on back through most of the field here. There are still trucks at the very tail end of the field trying to stay out of trouble in case there is trouble to be had. There's a lot of movement with a lot of these trucks. We do have a crash. 4 or 5 trucks around in the trial. Well, Haley Deegan is involved. Matt DiBenedetto also collected a fire underneath the 5. 43 of Daniel Dye collected as Dean Thompson in the 5 truck who was on fire. Flames are out of that truck, and so is he as well. Clay Greenfield with a heavy impact to both sides of his race truck as he is involved. And we have a caution for an incident for the first time tonight at Daytona with about 12 laps to go in stage 2. Dean Thompson was on fire, had the window net down, but then drives away. Once he dropped the window net, though, I believe you have to come to a stop, so I'm not sure exactly what he was doing there, but tough break for Matt DiBenedetto and Haley Deegan, both looking fast in the early going of the race, had stage points in the top 10 there, but because of pitting, they ended up losing track position to those that stayed out. Restarted mid-pack, and that's where that wreck had taken place. So again, the 5 trucks involved in the wreck that are all more than likely done. I'm thinking that Matt DiBenedetto will be able to continue at least. Daniel Dye may continue as well. They don't have as much damage, but it's going to be damage that are definitely going to affect their speeds in the pack. Haley Deegan going to drive her truck back to pit road with some heavy smoke and probably got the worst of the impact as far as the damage may look. Remember, an extra minute was added to the damaged vehicle policy clock during the NASCAR rule changes this offseason, so they go from 6 minutes to 7 minutes to try to repair damage, but as much as she has, I doubt she'll be able to continue. Thompson looked to be very frustrated maybe with himself for dropping the window net before starting to drive away, because he did that, he had to come to a complete stop, and that basically ends your day. Even though he's was able to get that truck started to roll back again. Haven't seen a replay of exactly what happened yet. It doesn't look like Deegan is going to make it back to pit road. As surprised she's actually driven it back as far as she has. So they were 3 wide from about 6th place on back at the time of the caution. Trying to tell who the truck was on the bottom of Clay Greenfield, which started the accident. Couldn't really tell exactly who it was, but there was a truck on the inside. Greenfield in the 84 was in the middle, and as they were entering the trial, well, it looked like whoever was on the bottom came up off the double yellow line, squeezed the 84. Didn't look like there was any contact made between those two trucks, but squeezed him enough that caused the 84 to bobble. And once he bobbled in the middle of the trial, where the trucks are probably at their lightest, around he ended up going as he overcorrected it, came back across the racetrack, ended up turning the 5 truck, which he came down into the inside of another race truck, which would have been De Benedetto. And when Greenfield came up, he kind of compacted the 13 of Deegan into the outside wall. Looked like the 15 truck might have gotten a piece of the 84 as well before Greenfield ended up going back up the racetrack a bit. Mike Ferguson, thanks for tuning in. Also, Slush, thanks for tuning in. Bug5353, welcome. Jay Susan. Yep, there are 2 Jason Whites. Joe Warble. Riley1645, also welcome. Red flag, by the way, posted. Yeah, there were 2 really, really fast race trucks involved in that. That would have been the 25 and the 13. There were quite a few drivers at the very tail end of the field that were just kind of holding back, waiting for something to happen, that then had to miss the wreck at the very end. It kind of scattered as there were trucks trying to get out of the way. And almost ran into each other. I still can't tell who that is. It looks like it might have been Ty Majeski in the 98, but I'm not entirely sure. I thought he was in the outside, so I don't think it was Majeski. It's hard to tell with the dark number on whatever truck that is, though. Tanner Gray, by the way, in the 15 truck, who got a piece of the 84, so there are actually 6 trucks involved. But I don't think he's got a lot of damage. Should be able to continue. Yeah, they do have a red flag posted right now. After the wreck. I wouldn't necessarily call it the big one, but 6 drivers involved, heavy impacts. I wonder if there was a red flag for Deegan trying to drive back just because she had so much damage. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some fluid leaking that they're going to have to try to clean up most of the way around this 2.5-mile racetrack, especially with the crash taking place on the front stretch heading towards turn 1. The caution flag is out. Red flag actually is out. Our 4th caution of the race, 2 for rain, a stage break, but this is the first accident of the night. 6 trucks collected with about 12 laps to go in stage number 2. Couple drivers who had stage points in stage 1 off to a good start. Matt De Benedetto and Haley Deegan involved. De Benedetto had to be one of the favorites after winning the most recent super speedway race for the Truck Series last season at Talladega in the playoffs. 212 people watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That is the most people watching any live stream so far during our Speed Week coverage at Daytona. We'll be back and better than ever once again tomorrow. Double header coming your way as we'll be doing live commentary for the ARCA and Xfinity Series races. Our live stream for ARCA will begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When that race is done, we'll take a little bit of a break, and on a separate live stream about an hour and a half to 2 hours after that race concludes, we'll have the NASCAR Xfinity Series coverage starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, our Daytona 500 on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in all throughout Speed Week so far. Returning viewers from last season when we did our first season of live commentary live streams. And, of course, anybody new coming to the party throughout the course of the year. It'll be a lot of fun. Do live commentary streams on the race weekends. Last year was just the Cup Series, but I've worked it out with my full-time job to get the Saturdays off to be able to give you guys the coverage of Truck and Xfinity races. There are races, obviously, for the Truck Series on Friday nights throughout the course of the season, as well as tonight, so be able to do those also. Jesse Wilson, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in and appreciating the coverage also. The Raya Man 65. Thanks for tuning in. Still have the red flag posted. Currently, your top 10 would be Tyler Ankrum in the 16 truck in the lead when the caution flag came out. Colby Howard is in second in the number 9 Chevrolet. Chase Purdy for Kyle Busch Motorsports is in fourth. Stuart Friesen is in... the Ford truck of Chase Purdy is in third. Stuart Friesen in fourth. Matt Crafton is back up to fifth place. Parker Kligerman with a good run so far in sixth. Carson Hocevar seventh. Nick Sanchez in eighth. He started on the pole. Ben Rhodes is ninth, and Grant Enfinger currently rounds out the top 10 midway through stage 2. 30 laps complete out of 100. Trucks are parked on the backstretch right now during this red flag run. Still over 30 of them in this race.
Stripes. Daniel Day is doing everything he can to earn his here this weekend. When we kicked off practice earlier in the week, prior to that, he got a visit from the King, Richard Petty, but the day would not go well. He didn't even see the track with some issues underneath the hood of the truck. And then in qualifying, was happy with the lap that he put down, but here in the race already, he's just been fighting the looseness of this truck. They actually came in during that first caution to gain some more tighten in the truck, but seems like they're still struggling at width here today. In terms of strategy going forward, they're going to look at this truck, assess the damage, and get it back on track. Regan?
Well, man, to Parker Kligerman, somebody we always expect to see towards the front of these truck races when we come to the super speedways. No different tonight, working very well with Stuart Friesen there as we had that restart. As they got to the front and they were pushing, though, Parker had to back off some. The reason for that is that truck began to overheat. Keep an eye on things as this race plays out and we get to the end, and you need to really be able to stay up there on that truck in front of you. They're going to have to make an adjustment so they can run longer. One more side note on this team. This team nearly did not make it here. They had a hauler issue in Georgia earlier this week. The truck got stuck in Georgia in the hauler as they had a hub burn up. Fortunately, the truck driver was able to get that fire put out on the hub and get the hauler back on the road.
Didn't even know about that.
Well, how about our race leader, Tyler Ankrum? Now you could call him somewhat of a veteran in the field. This is his 91st truck race. He's looking to get his second win. His first win came all the way back in 2019. But he calls this season a fresh start for him. He said the only thing that's the same as before is the number 16 on the side of that truck. He's got a new crew chief with Doug Randolph. I just spoke with him. He said they made that decision to come in early because they wanted the track position. They qualified 27th. It did them no good to stay out there and run in 27th. And what it did was it put them in the lead of this race right now. We've got rain coming down again. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but they feel pretty good about the truck they have underneath Tyler.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, but it's always much easier to play with a lead than it is to try and come from behind. And it cracks me up. Forever we've said you can win from anywhere at Daytona, Talladega, and then we get here and all we talk about is gaining track position, right?
Yeah.
Here's the reason we're under the red flag.
You can't win from the garage.
That's right. That's right.
The yellow truck in the middle there just hasn't stepped out on him. Clay Greenfield, and look at the mess that ensues.
Great job by Brett Holmes. Now he's going to make slight contact, I think, with the 43 of Daniel Dye.
But very slight.
Very slight. It could have been a lot worse.
You know, there were some great examples of total truck control when you think of Holmes, the way he was able to make that move, and Tanner Gray as well.
Chase Elliott right there going by that white truck.
Daniel Dye was just so close to getting through it himself. Around he went. I think the drivers are on the backstretch. The crew chiefs are saying it's raining, and the drivers are saying no, it's not.
I got to tell you though, it's not raining hard. So we understand now they're going to lift the red flag so they can bring the trucks around, put them on pit road, and then we will reassess and reset and wait out the rain here at Daytona.
It was just very, very brief, and I'm not sure it's even raining anymore on the front stretch out our broadcast position.
Regan, what do you have?
Well, Adam, literally, as you were saying, they were going to bring him to pit road. The rain stopped down here. It's not raining down here anymore. Just a
it's raining. It is definitely raining.
I imagine that it's really close to getting these trucks at least back on the track to get this thing dried off.
Now, we're just going to make a total liar out of you, Regan, and this illustrates how big Daytona International Speedway is. But just as Regan says it's not raining anymore, we cut to a shot where it's obviously raining. So there you go. I appreciate your positive attitude, Regan. I really do.
Zane Smith.
I can't believe he didn't come back at me on that.
Definitely seems to be raining at least in turns 3 and 4 on the cameras from the truck. So rain kind of plaguing the early going of this race following that red flag. If that caution didn't come out, they may have been able to make up the final 12 laps to the end of the stage. And if that would have ended up happening, remember this race can end if we were at the conclusion of stage 2 or the halfway mark of this race. And in this case, the end of stage 2 would be the first thing that would come before the halfway mark. So we'd only be racing to lap 40, but we are on lap 30. So they will have to wait this out for a little bit. So rain delay at Daytona for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, 30 laps in, after a 6-truck accident in the middle of the tri-oval involving Matt DiBenedetto, Haley Deegan, Clay Greenfield, Dean Thompson was collected. Tanner Gray got a piece of the damage. He should be able to continue. I think DiBenedetto is going to have a good shot of being able to continue as well, but we definitely know that Deegan, Thompson, and Greenfield are out of this race. So as you heard from Adam Alexander in the booth there just moments ago, that we're back to caution, but that is just so they can bring the trucks onto pit road, so they can get the tarps on the race trucks. Unfortunately, try to wait this out, and we'll reassess in a little bit about where we are. It doesn't look like it's a super heavy rain, but definitely raining at Daytona under the caution. Mark Barnum, thanks for tuning in. NASCAR needs to get rain tires for every track. It wouldn't even be possible at a super speedway. You can only do so much. Because even if the banking's not the issue, you're still running in a giant pack in the rain. It's already hard enough for these guys as it is. Try to stay off of each other. In this instance, let alone if you had rain. I kind of mentioned earlier they wouldn't be hitting 200 miles per hour if it was raining, but I mean, I guarantee you they'd probably be going 160 still, and if they're 2-3 wide in the rain, it just wouldn't work. And the mist too. Not to mention, like, mist is an issue off the back of another vehicle when it is raining, let alone the fact that they're in a pack. The mist would be, you wouldn't even be able to see. I mean, it's the whole reason that when they were racing at Coda a couple years ago in the rain, that they had to go to single file restarts because the mist was too much. They were able to continue racing, but the mist was so bad when everybody was in the double file restarts that the visibility just wasn't there. I've had that part of Lux Eterna from Metallica stuck in my head that they keep airing on the ads during the Daytona 500. It keeps me excited for Daytona, though. I'll tell you that much. It's good marketing. For any metalheads out there. Sprint Car Schaefer, thanks for tuning in. Picks for the weekend: Zane Smith in the trucks, Justin Haley in Xfinity, and Chase Elliott in the Cup side. Yeah, I picked. I don't have my pick for the Daytona 500 yet. I'm feeling Joey Logano. I think Elliott's a good pick too, but something. I picked Logano in the dual race to win last night. Got it done. He had a fast car at qualifying. This is one thing you don't usually see out of the Penske cars, is fast cars, single car at qualifying, and racing well. And they were able to do that over the last 48 hours, both Wednesday night qualifying. All three of them got in the top 10. And then also Thursday in the duel, they all had really good finishes. Austin Cindric was all by himself, finished second in his duel. Blaney third, Logano first in the first duel race. So they're all really good. I think Team Penske is going to be very difficult to beat tomorrow. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Penske fan. I predicted a Penske car to win last year. I didn't think it'd be Cindric. I'd pick Blaney to win. And I might be leaning towards Logano this year, honestly. coming off a championship. Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, thanks for tuning in. We are back under caution. It was a very brief red, well, it wasn't a brief red flag. They're under red flag because of the crash on the front stretch. And then as they were cleaning that up, it started raining in turns 3 and 4. But it doesn't look like we have lost the racetrack, so they are back under caution flag conditions. And it looks like, hopefully, as long as it stays away, we'll get back to racing here shortly. Shouldn't have too many more caution laps. Queuing up Tyler Ankrum right now on the Fox booth.
Well, we were talking about the only thing that's the same as last year is the number and the driver. Everything else is different, but a great pit call by your new crew chief, Doug Randolph, to get you up front, got you the lead, and got you, more importantly, probably got you ahead of the accident we just saw.
Yeah, I'm happy to have been ahead of that. I would have been back there in that fray if Doug hadn't made that call. Been super happy with Doug so far, and I just want this dang rain to go away.
It's kind of hard to believe we stopped this race 3 times or had rain 3 different times, but doing a great job, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, boys.
I like how he was sitting right on the button. Phil Parsons said, "We're here in the Fox booth. You got a copy?" "Yes, sir, Phil. Go ahead." That tells you how tuned in these guys are. Talk to me and I'll talk right back at you.
That's like when you're expecting a call from the boss and you're holding the phone. There it is, right there. Hello, how you doing, sir?
Wait, it never even rained. Wait a minute.
Hey, you look at Hattori. Such a successful program here in the Craftsman Truck Series. Winning the championship with Brett Moffitt, everything that Austin Hill was able to accomplish. They missed the playoffs last year, which was shocking. But you get the feeling, with the changes they've made and the growth that Tyler Ankrum has gone through, that this is a year where they can really put some things together.
Remember, they went to 2 trucks last year.
Right.
Maybe diluted the effort a little bit, back to 1 truck this year, looking for good things.
Every time the
Boss Band number 5 fan, thanks for tuning in. Ed Kittle, thanks for tuning in also. Where can you watch from Niagara Falls, Canada? Well, greetings from Canada. I'm not sure exactly, obviously with you being international compared to me in the U.S., exactly where you can watch it there. I can tell you, at least in the U.S., it is on Fox Sports 1. So if there's a Fox Sports 1 affiliate for you guys up north, then that would be the place to go. So the actual race coverage is on Fox Sports 1 today. But got the commentary side of things for you guys right here on the channel. But we are back to caution flag conditions. And here's Haley Deegan.
That you thought you could do differently there, and knowing your intentions for this season, how do you digest what happened here?
I mean, it's super speed racing. You kind of go into it expecting to just, if you get out of it, great. If you can't, that's kind of just what's expected. Very few of them make it out of these super speed races, so kind of just went into this one with trying to do our best, stay towards the front. We had a really good first stage, and I feel like we got good stage points. We had a good finish right there. Just trying to be really going from the start and seeing if that plays a different, I'd say, role in it, because I've hung back in the past, and it has worked a few times, has worked not some other times. So at the end of the day, we tried a little different tactic here this year with my new team, and it was working out for the first stage, but it happens.
Thank you, Haley.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Adam, every now and then you're in a wreck that was unavoidable. And that was certainly the case for Haley.
Without
There
a doubt.
was nothing she could have done different. She just got swept up into something that was unavoidable.
Great thing about stage racing. If you can get some stage points early, it helps minimize a rough night. She got a few at the end of stage 1, and that will ease the pain of what's going to be a very frustrating evening that ends with a did not finish in the season opener. Inside of 10 laps to go, stage 2, when we return to the green flag.
To me, it seems a little hazy. Turns 1 and 2, almost not quite to the extent that the Daytona 500 in 2006 was, but it does look a little hazy from some of the aerial shots that they've shown with the rain in the area. So hopefully it just stays away enough for us to continue this race on. But again, we are racing to lap 40 at the very least to make this race official today. That would be the end marker to stage 2. Shake Bills, thanks for tuning in. Zane wins on Sunday. That'd be a major upset. Guy that's not even running full time, making his second Cup start. That'd be similar to Trevor Bayne winning the 500, honestly. Part-time guy and a Ford. winning the Daytona 500 in his second start. I mean, that's Trevor Bayne. Had a top 10 in his dual race, so you never know. And won at Daytona in the trucks last year, too. DiBenedetto's still Cup driving in a car? No, he did not last year and not this year. Maybe he'll make some part-time starts somewhere along the line, but I can't guarantee that. Can't confirm it. Again, be sure to hit the like button if you guys have not done so already. Our goal was 100 likes on this stream today. And we are currently at 86. Might as well up that goal to 200. Might as well. See if we can get up to 200 likes in the stream. Because we're pretty darn close, and we're not even halfway through this race yet. We've had consistently over 200 people watching. Greatly appreciate it. I was only able to do 4 truck and Xfinity races last season, so definitely not used to doing the truck and Xfinity side of things, but you can plan on all season long having truck and Xfinity Series commentary, not just tonight at Daytona or this week at Daytona with the lower series races. I don't plan on doing ARCA every week. I'm just doing it because of Speed Weeks this weekend, so as far as ARCA tomorrow, don't plan on that necessarily going forward, but truck, Xfinity, and Cup, any weekend I'm not at the track, definitely we'll go racing right here on the channel. Danny Haley, thanks for tuning in. Here's crew chief for Christian Eckes with Regan Smith.
Seems like everything is going very well so far for you guys.
Yeah, it's going really well. We qualified well. We've got speed. Won the first stage, which is great to get a first stage win off the year here. Get a few points in the bank so we can keep on racing. Hopefully we get a few more points here at the end of this stage. So we can kind of be released to have some fun here for the end and go for the win.
We want to see you have some fun. Good luck. Thanks.
Here's Clay Greenfield also.
Well, the 5 and the 13 were taken out by the 84 here today. I got Clay Greenfield. He's been cleared and released from the care center here at Daytona. And when you recall back and what was happening inside of the truck, can you walk us through from your vantage of what you saw?
Yeah, there was just a lot going on there. We had the truck was very difficult to hold straight. We've been throwing a lot of things at it and hadn't quite got it fixed. I was okay hanging on the outside without somebody on my door, but then when we got in the middle of 3, there's just no air out there, and I saw that as a situation I didn't want to be in. But coming off of 4, I was trying to look for an option out, but I was too blocked in, so I just had to stick with it, and it's just hard to hang on to. We've been fighting that all weekend, and headed for Backyard Blues Pools. This is one of the races I should have won this race twice before. This is one that we have circled every year. I really look forward to coming here, but we will we'll get it fixed back and be back soon.
Never the easiest interview. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Clay Greenfield, 38 years old from Clarksville, Tennessee, and as he said, always a player when he comes down here and races.
You know, and that's so mature. It's so hard to say. You know, we couldn't drive my truck. It just didn't handle well, and I got in a spot I didn't need to be in. Took blame for the crash, and
Was trying to get out of that spot, but as he was mentioned, there were trucks on the inside, trucks on the outside, front and behind them.
sad because, as he said, he's been a player, and Adam, you called it. Just a shame. Makes you sad for those guys when they work so hard to put themselves in that position and has it all go away.
Take me behind the wheel and the mindset of drivers in this situation, because we've not had a ton of green flag racing. You want to get going. We're going to have a quick little shootout here, you know, right around 6, 7, maybe 5 laps to go in the stage when we get back green. I'm guessing eventually this aggression level is going to get in a dangerous place, because these guys have got to want to go.
I've just seen it since the word go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get any worse, because it's been there from the start.
And I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, the inexperience and also the delays. When you ride around under caution, you want to go, and when it comes time to go, you know, the laps are slipping away on you. So puts a lot of aggression behind the wheel, and mistakes can be made.
One to go signal now given at the start-finish line this time for the field. Into the choose cone quickly as well. Tyler Ankrum elects the inside lane for the restart. And Howard in the number 9 truck will be on the outside of the front row. Every driver so far through restarts that has been the control car has elected the inside lane. Nobody has elected the top. As far as my recollection goes, I think that was the same case for the Daytona dual races last night also. So they will be going green this time. Be interesting to see how aggressive they'll be after that crash, but I guess knowing... I'm going to take that back. I think they'll be very aggressive, at least on this restart, because we're only going to have 5 laps to go in Stage 2. Now, the restart to Stage 3, on the other hand, they might calm down for a little bit, but I think this restart, it's going to be ramped right back up again to where we left off right before that caution came out. So again, 5 laps to go in Stage 2 when they go green this time, and it'll be Tyler Ankrum leading the field with green. The Stage 1 winner, who is Christian Eckes, is currently in 12th. And he was one of the first trucks to try to go to the outside lane, that third lane up near the wall. No, Matt DiBenedetto is not out, but he does have significant damage towards the nose of that race truck. Only 3 drivers out from that wreck were Dean Thompson, Haley Deegan, and Clay Greenfield. Tanner Gray, 1 lap down right now, was also collected. I think he's still in the race, though. He'll get the free pass during the stage break here in a matter of moments. But the field is exiting turn 4, about to get back to green flag racing, it appears. Unless they gave him another, they might have given him another lap of caution. Nope, they have not. Tyler Ankrum leads them to the green, and we're back to racing following the rain delay for the NASCAR Truck Series at Daytona. More connected on that outside lane between Stuart Friesen and Colby Howard. That will propel the 9 truck of Howard forward into turns 1 and 2. Can't quite clear the 16, and that push got him a little squirrely, in fact, and it allows for the 16 to get back to the inside, and he'll be able to clear off the exit of turn 2. He'll stay on the bottom with the 4 truck of Chase Purdy right behind him. Matt Craftsman, who's been in the top 10 pretty much all race long, is on the inside in 3rd on the bottom with Nick Sanchez right behind him. 19 truck of Eckes going right back to the outside again, just like he had done right before the caution, but nobody really going with him towards the back of this lead pack. A lot of drivers immediately dropping back in their strategies of just not wanting to get collected in an accident in the early going, with all the drivers running full time for stage points. 19's gonna file right back down to the bottom. He couldn't get any help in that 3rd lane on the outside. Ben Rhodes with a major run on the outside, picks up 3 or 4 positions heading into turns 1 and 2, and now finds himself behind the 41 truck of Pastrana about 6 rows deep. Ben Rhodes making a block on the 19 of Eckes, and he goes up the middle 3 wide, and that's going to hang Travis Pastrana out to dry now in the 41 truck. 3 trucks pushing each other simultaneously on the outside lane to try to get the 9 of Colby Howard back to the front. He is clear if he chooses to move down, but instead just stays on the outside. He'll be a little bit patient. Now he's down to the bottom off the exit of turn 4, having much more clearance on the 16 truck. Back to the top now to try to block the 52 of Friesen, who had a little bit of a run and now has to cut out of the throttle as he lets the 9 in front of him. 3 laps to go in stage 1. Will they make it to the end of the green-white checkered flag this time, or will this stage end under caution? And who will win the stage and receive a playoff point if they, of course, make it to the playoffs? 10 regular season points as well. Raja Caruth moving to the outside with Travis Pastrana, and now Caruth will duck back in line on the bottom. Didn't have enough trucks going with him. 16 got a push from Friesen on the outside, and as soon as he pulled clear of the turn 3, he ended up moving down to the bottom. So now it's Tyler Ankrum back in the lead, and the 9 now pushing him in the middle of the corner, and sideways goes Ankrum. He's able to make a save as the 9 is now going to get to the outside. Stuart Friesen's got a big run, and the 52 behind him goes to the top. 3 wide for the race lead in the tri-oval. Stuart Friesen, what a move. 16 all over the place again now, and he makes another save with Chase Purdy in the Ford trying to push him. Friesen leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Parker Kligerman was the driver who gave him that shot on the outside. 3 wide they went. Kligerman is now in 4th trying to hang on. The 9 moves back to the top. He almost turns Kligerman. Nobody is pushing each other very properly as they are not aligning bumpers correctly. Up the middle goes the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Passes about 4 cars in the middle lane after a push from the 19 of Eckes, who won stage 1, and he's right to the back bumper of the 52 of Friesen, who continues to lead. 3x3, again they go at the front of the field. 1 lap to go in stage 2, this time by. Friesen will lead at the line, and they're 3x3 from second on back behind him. A lot of bump drafting going on their ways into turns 1 and 2. Friesen blocks the outside on Ben Rhodes. The 16 to the race lead on the bottom, meanwhile. Friesen getting pushed by the 99. Ankrum is clear in the lead off the exit of turn 2. Off the exit of turn 2 they go. Ben Rhodes looking to the outside. Friesen blocks him, and he blocks himself into the wall. Friesen's around. Heavy damage. Trucks trying to go to the grass to miss, and they're spinning. Caution flag is out on the final lap of the stage. Stuart Friesen basically just turned himself off the front bumper of Ben Rhodes, and there was quite a bit of damage to Rhodes' race truck, kind of crinkled the hood up. Tyler Ankrum will win stage 2 under caution, and a bad block by Stuart Friesen causes that accident on the back straightaway. Well, the race to lap 40 is there. We'll get there under caution. Our 5th yellow of the race. And second for incident. Both incidents came at stage 2. Doug Cochran, thanks for tuning in. Trishan Games, welcome. Quite a bit of damage on Stuart Friesen's race truck as he hit right front into the wall first. He was in the outside lane trying to block the 99 who had a push from Eckes. And when he tried to block it, he just turned himself. He was not clear. Far from it. Rhodes moved up. The 52, just moved up to block him, and around he went. And then the 32 truck was one of the first ones to go down into the grass to try to miss the accident because there was really nowhere to go as they were funneling towards turn 3, and that's what caused him to lose control. Made contact with a couple other trucks which collected them that were at the back of this lead pack. Great awareness by Eckes to just move out of the way into the middle in time. Hocevar able to get on the brakes in time to keep it off the back of the 99 who was cutting back across the middle of the field after that contact with Friesen. Nine truck also involved there. He got hit by Travis Pastrana, who was trying to miss the wreck, and then with the 97 down on the grass, made contact with him. Didn't look like there was a lot of damage, at least. Gary Kennedy, thanks for tuning in. Pulling for Corey, hope he wins. He's my pick. I picked Corey LaJoie to win this race. I didn't put money on him on FanDuel, but if he wins, that's the second night in a row I predicted a winner and didn't put money on it. I looked it up. Joey Logano was 8-1 odds yesterday. I could have won a decent amount of money with that too. I'm surprised it was 8-1 considering he was third. I know it's a super speedway or started third, but how good he is at Daytona and Talladega, I would have thought it would have been more like, and half a field too. I would have thought it would have been more like 4-1 or something like that for him to win. So we've got a caution. Blocking gone wrong on the back straightaway at the Daytona International Speedway in our NextEra Energy 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Under caution during the stage break, but the caution came out right before they got to the green-white checkered flag. Ben Rhodes has not made his pit stop yet. He is still trudging along. I think he actually got scored with stage points still because he was able to at least maintain speed. But he's got quite a bit of damage. He's going to be on pit road for a little bit. Field is coming into the pits right now for the pit stops during the Stage 2 break.
They're heading your way, Jamie.
And Tyler Ankrum will be the first to hit pit lane as this race leader. His crew chief, Doug Randolph, made the decision, make him stop just a little bit short. We're going to take 4 tires, fuel, give him a little bit of an ice bag, pull that body off a little bit, and they're going to send him out. Amanda?
Nick Sanchez just made his way to us over here. It's going to be fuel for him in full tires. His team has been talking him through this whole thing. Yesterday, they were in practice focusing on that pit lane speed. Nick Sanchez, the team was telling him, guys, this is a stupid fast truck. Regan?
Chase Purdy very happy with this truck. Very happy to get stage points, too. A good, clean stop's all they wanted. Nothing else.
Stage 2 completed Daytona.
Quite a few drivers stayed out of the pits there. Might have pitted during the red flag caution that we had earlier in the stage. Looked like Parker Kligerman actually got a good chunk of damage on the left front of his race truck. Didn't see that till just now, right before they went to commercial break. Showed a replay of the crash again. The 32 was down the grass and lost control. When he came back up across the track, he actually hit Kligerman. Tough break for Parker because he was up there in contention. Actually had stage points at the end of the stage also, and unfortunately ended up falling back. As soon as I get the update for who got stage points in stage 2, I'll give it to you guys. I'm not sure how NASCAR is going to score this because there were drivers that were involved in the wreck that were in the top 10 but maintained speed, so haven't gotten any sort of official word as to who got stage points yet in stage 2, other than the fact we do know Tyler Ankrum won the stage. He was ahead of the accident. Another roughly 5 or 6 trucks involved. First of 2, well, I should say both of the wrecks that we have seen today have collected about the same amount of race trucks. And we definitely have a couple more out of the race as a result of that accident. Cody Rodeball in the 97 is out. Stuart Friesen is likely out in the 52. And Ben Rhodes has a lot of damage, although he's still scored on the lead lap. He's back at 31st right now. Two drivers that were in the championship 4 last year. Ben Rhodes and Stuart Friesen. Not off to a good start this season at Daytona. So again, if we do get major rain, which we're not expected to have the rest of the night, I only say that because we've had a couple of cautions for rain, but none to have to get the jet dryers out on the track by any means. But if we were to get a torrential downpour, we have crossed the mark that we need to get to make this race official, which is at least get through the first 2 stages or the halfway mark. Got 175 people watching right now. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We had well over 200 right before the end of the stage there. Sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Light's still out on the racetrack here, so not going to be going green this time by. We'll take a quick break here, and then we'll get back with the second half of tonight's race.
Stuart Friesen, let's get a report there from Amanda.
Yeah, it's never good news when you see the chainsaw out on pit road. They were looking underneath to see, check the suspension and the steering. All that was clear, but there were some issues on the handling and on the splitter. Stewart went back out to take a lap around the track, said the steering was crap, so he came back in. The team just looked at it again. Stewart's headed back out on track here at Daytona.
His goal, Adam, will be to get in that draft and put a time down so that he's got enough speed to be able to continue racing, and without that fender, he's going to have to be in a tight draft. He's going to need one behind him and one in front of him.
Yeah, same thing for the 75 of Parker Kligerman.
I mean, there's a host of trucks that are repaired. We'll see how effective they are and if they can meet minimum speed here.
Matt Crafton receives the most stage points of any driver today with 17. Christian Eckes with the second most, 16 points. He also won stage 1. Ankrum, who won stage 2, did not get any stage points in the first stage, but does get a playoff point and At least he gets 10 points here. It looks like the rain has... It is starting to rain all of a sudden. Once again. And I just mentioned that we have reached the lap counter that we need to make this race official. And Corey LaJoie stayed out of the pits during that caution flag. Likely pitted before that. Zane Smith also stayed out. Matt DiBenedetto stayed out. He was involved in that earlier wreck. He's back in it. Lights are still out on the pace truck right now, though. They are still going green this time. But it looked like it was raining on the camera shot that just showed moments ago where the infield lights were at. Looking like they may go green still this time. Haven't put the lights back on the pace truck yet. Interesting. Okay, so they have put the lights back on in the pace truck as the field is in turns 3 and 4 right now. Corey LaJoie is my pick to win. It is raining at Daytona. We're 45 laps in, but we are past stage 2. I might get 2 races right during speed weeks. That's insane. Now, it's hard to tell exactly how hard it's raining. It's definitely raining hard enough that they're probably going to have to bring the trucks to pit road this time. But the radar looked fairly clear when they showed it earlier in stage 1 when they had that first pop-up. So I'm still optimistic that they're going to get this race in. Unless something has risen. I mean, the trucks still stayed on the track. They did not bring the trucks to pit road that time as they crossed the front stretch. So still out on the racetrack. I mean, everybody's still going to have to pit again, whether they pitted during this stage break or not. They're well outside the fuel window to make it to the end, so might as well have stayed out in that situation, especially if crew chiefs were aware that there might have been more rain in the area, just as we saw. $166 people watching. Again, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Got 100 likes on the stream. That was our original goal. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button. See if we can get to 200 by the end. We've had over 200 people watching earlier in this race. Fox is cutting to a commercial break right now. Still during the stage 2 break. There is rain as of right now, which is very interesting. Now, even though Fox is on a commercial break on our leaderboard right here on the channel, you can see if there is a red flag that we'll be able to see it still. Just over an hour from the start of the race today, but we've had a lot of caution laps, despite the fact that there's only been actually 2 accidents in these first 45 laps. A lot of laps have been ran under yellow. Had 11 green flag laps in stage 1, and I think we had less than that in stage 2. Once again, reminder, tomorrow afternoon we'll be doing a double-header live stream on the channel with these live commentary streams. First, we will go live for the ARCA race at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. General Tire 200, 80-lapper. And then a 120-lap, 300-mile Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That live stream will be up at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Daytona 500 on Sunday will be live also, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard start time. Live commentary streams on the race weekends all throughout the season. There's only one off week, so we're going to be here for, 36 of the next 37 weeks? Well, and not counting the All-Star race, so 37 of the 38 weeks. We'll have some sort of coverage, whether it's me at the track giving you guys some coverage there, or these live commentary streams from my home. I don't do the commentary streams on the road, obviously, but give you guys some sort of content at the racetrack, like race highlight videos from the grandstands and more. Menace, thanks for tuning in. Any big wrecks? Yeah, a couple of 5 to 6 truck crashes. He's taking out a couple of the favorites, really. Stuart Friesen is a couple laps down. He's still running, but it's going to be tough for him to even get back on the lead lap. He's got a big hole in the fender. Parker Kligerman was involved in that last accident as well as Friesen. Kligerman's got a hole pretty much about the same size damage-wise as Friesen. Kligerman's still in the lead lap, though, and his is on the left front fender versus Friesen on the right front. Ben Rhodes had a lot of damage from that last accident. He is still scored on the lead lap as well. Trying to see where he's at position-wise. Would have thought he would have been towards the back with Kligerman, but he's not. He has scored 21st. But he has quite a bit of damage. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep up with the pack as well. Drivers who are out of the race who were involved in that last accident or the first crash would be Dean Thompson, Haley Deegan, Clay Greenfield, Cody Rodabaugh. Rodabaugh is the only driver out of the race that was actually involved in the most recent wreck we saw. The first wreck took out those other 3. Lights are back out on the pace truck again. It looks like we may be going green. So they did not have to wave a red flag under any circumstance during more rain on the track. Don't know if it is still raining or not. And the lights remain off. Field is exiting turn 4. And it looks like we'll be going green this time. Rain, stay away, coming back another day. Another week in this case. I don't want to see it anymore this weekend. I'm sure a lot of other people would say the same. Corey LaJoie will lead the field to the green, electing the inside on the restart. Zane Smith to the top. Green flag back in the air. Good push from the 38 truck from behind by Matt DiBenedetto, who does have damage on the front of his race truck. He's getting pushed simultaneously by the 16 and the 19 behind him. Inside is a lot more separated. One truck moves from the top to the bottom. That was the 23 of Enfinger, who was 5 rows deep on the outside. Found a hole. Got it. Top 2 trucks clear on the outside lane off the exit of turn 2. And move down to the bottom. That would be Zane Smith and Matt DiBenedetto, the 2 trucks who worked each other on the outside to get to the lead. 16 still getting pushed by the 19. Eckes is the push truck, and the 16 who ended up winning the last stage. Actually, both these stage-winning trucks on the outside. Corey LaJoie saw the momentum they had, moved back to the top, has the truck behind him moving to the outside as well in the number 11. That's Corey Heim. Haven't talked about him at all yet today. Making the move from KBM over to that 11 team. This season, leader at the line that time by inches, the 19 of Christian Eckes. Eckes leads the first lap following the restart. A lot of lane changing going on, though, since that restart. 52 laps still to go. Everybody will still have to pit one more time before the end of this race. Fuel window, a little less than 40 laps in the Truck Series at Daytona. LaJoie with a push to the back of the 19 that moves to the bottom, trying to take the lead for himself. He led some laps under caution, now trying to lead his first green flag lap of the race. And the number 7 truck of Corey LaJoie out in front. Similar paint scheme that he would run on Sundays, trying to win on a Friday night. Never won in any of the top 3 series in NASCAR, trying to get a win here today. And I believe that would be a very popular win at that. Haven't talked about Chase Elliott at all today. He is in the race in the 35 truck. We're going to talk about him right now, though, because he is in the top 10 up to 7th out of seemingly nowhere. He started in the top 10, but then kind of fell back after a little bit, or started just outside the top 10, 14th place position. Zane Smith getting a push off the exit of turn 2. Everybody has been very squirrely when getting bump drafted today. I don't know how much of it is the fact that they're not aligning bumpers correctly. Some of it could be the lack of experience in the field in this race as well. 3 wide forming. Carson Hocevar was the first truck to move to the 3rd lane up near the wall. So despite the fact that we have seen 2 wrecks in Stage 2 with 3 wide racing going on, they are right back to 3 wide racing again in Stage 3, even though that we are only halfway and still have 50 laps left in the race. No lack of... what I'm trying to say, there's no lack of racing. These guys are going at it. Any green flag lap that we have seen these guys running at speed, it has been pure pandemonium, and there was nearly more of it in turns 3 and 4. LaJoy thought about making a block on the 38 of Zane Smith. It might have slowed him down just a bit. The 7 got a bit loose off turn 4 as well. 16 definitely wasn't pushing him. That looked very similar to the end of stage number 2, or stage 1 rather, when Eckes won the stage and the 98 of Majeski got loose on the bottom lane. There definitely wasn't a push from behind when LaJoy got a bit sideways, so these trucks are just a tad edgy. LaJoy continues to lead. He's clear off turn 2, moves to the outside to block the 38 truck of Zane Smith. Smith getting a push from behind, and as he moves to the bottom, Smith is probably going to get the run to get back to the outside in turns 3 and 4, and does. Side drafts the right rear quarter panel of Corey LaJoy. No longer 3 wide, they're back to double wide all the way through this lead pack. But there's a lot of aggressive side drafting going on at the very front of the field since LaJoy has taken control of things on that inside lane, and when he has the chances, he is throwing blocks on the straightaways as well. Clean one so far, none like what we saw out of Friesen at the end of stage 2, where he threw a bad block on the outside lane, which sparked that most recent wreck. The 7 truck of Corey LaJoy is dancing around quite a bit off the exit of the corners. He looks to have a very loose truck. Loose is fast if you can hang on to it, but I don't know that you want to be necessarily that loose. Now, he stayed out of the pits also during the stage break, so he still has somewhat older tires. Goes up the track, aggressively side drafting the 38 truck of Zane Smith on that outside lane. Here's the NASCAR on Fox cranking up for you guys. Appreciate also Spear Walker, William Albright, Orlando Richardson, Michael Phillips, and Hanover raised into the stream. A couple of new viewers here over the last couple of laps. Fox going with a little side-by-side commercial break here. A word from Craftsman, but we'll stay right here on the channel, giving the live commentary throughout the course of this side-by-side break. Corey LaJoy continues to lead with Zane Smith in second. We'll go through a quick rundown of the full field running order. Haven't really done that yet today. But Corey LaJoy is currently the race leader. Christian Eckes is in second place. Tyler Ankrum third. Corey Hyman fourth. Zane Smith fifth. Matt DiBenedetto in sixth. Matt Kraft in seventh. Chase Elliott eighth. Grant Enfinger ninth. And Raja Caruth rounds out the top 10. Ty Majeski in 11th, Ben Rhodes 12th, Tanner Gray in 13th, Daniel Dye 14th, Travis Pastrana 15th, Sammy Smith in 16th, 17th is Timmy Hill, Carson Hocevar's dropped back to 18th, Jack Wood 19th, and Chase Purdy is 20th. Colby Howard in 21st, 22nd is Chris Hacker, Nick Sanchez 23rd, Derek Krause 24th, and Chris Wright is 25th. Jay White in 26th, Josh Reum 27th, Mason Massey 28th, Jason White in 29th, and Stuart Friesen is 6 laps down in 30th. 29 trucks on the lead lap. Brett Holmes is 8 laps down in 31st. He was involved in that last accident. Parker Kligerman is out of the race now in 32nd. Cody Rodebaugh is in 33rd. Clay Greenfield 34th. Haley Deegan 35th. Dean Thompson 36th. So looks like Friesen from 30th on back is potentially out of this race now. Couple trucks starting to fade back on that outside lane. The numbers really out of this entire lead pack is starting to fade. A big block by Corey LaJoie at the front. Up the middle goes Raja Caruth as he pulled out of line at the opportune time, really. Ben Rhodes with a whole bunch of damage on the front of his truck is in the way. Caruth gets sideways and collected again as DiBenedetto. Back across the racetrack goes Caruth. A couple other trucks collected. Daniel Dye involved in his second wreck as he got turned on the outside back down into Caruth. Off the front bumper of Ty Majeski, who was trying to miss the wreck. And we have our third wreck of the evening in Matt DiBenedetto. In it again, after working himself back inside the top 5. Caruth made a great move up the middle, and it looked like he got squeezed 3 wide, and then he could not make the save while he was 3 wide middle in turns 3 and 4, and looked like we had about 4 trucks collected in total there. Pretty significant damage on DiBenedetto this time around, as well as Raja Caruth. Gonna get a replay and give you guys my vantage point of what took place during the accident here. So back straightaway, they bottlenecked on the outside. Caruth saw that, went to the middle, good move there. Then as they were going into turn 3, the 38 of Zane Smith looked like he was going to try to move down in front of the 24, and when he moved down, he really chopped the nose off of Caruth, and Caruth lost control of his truck after the fact. So I'd like to think that the fault of that accident was likely on Zane Smith, or obviously his spotter might have called him clear. Whatever the case was, Zane Smith moved off the 3rd lane down to the middle where Caruth was, and he crowded him. So that was definitely on Zane Smith. Another block gone wrong. It's a block or lane change, but that is back-to-back wrecks we've seen by experienced drivers in the truck series. First Stuart Friesen and then Zane Smith now, defending champion, which causes the wreck. So it's not really like it's the young guys bringing out these wrecks. It's the veterans, what few we do actually have in the truck series, that are causing the last couple of accidents. But yeah, that was on Zane Smith. Caruth made a good move. He was in the middle. He was on the inside of the 38. 38 must not have known he was there, but he definitely chopped his nose off and made contact with the right front. Really no chance to save it when you're in the middle 3 wide. There was no space for him once he got sideways. DiBenedetto was underneath him, and DiBenedetto right into the door of Caruth. They were 3 wide trying to miss those guys to the outside of the spinning 24 and 25 trucks, and that sandwiched Daniel Dye into Ty Majeski, and Dye ended up going around, making more contact with Caruth as well. 41 laps to go as of right now under our 5th caution. What was that t-shirt Kyle Busch wore at the track last season? The most expensive night of the year. That sums up this race so far, even more so than last year, I think. These guys have not lacked the aggression, but it has been a lot of drivers mightily. Caruth is now going behind the pit wall. It looks like he'll end up backing into the garage. Unfortunately, he had a good run going for him in the top 10, and no fault of his own there. Be interesting to see what he can do with that 2014 throughout the course of the season. Was off to a good start, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to get to the finish. It's going to be risky on whether or not they can make it on fuel. It'll be close. We do have pit stops going on, though.
Here they come down pit road, Jamie.
And for Ben Rhodes and that number 99, they're going to lose some track position here. They know that, but they want to get that damage fixed the right way so they're not going to have to come back here towards the end of the race. They're also going to take on some fuel. Amanda?
Corey Heim is on pit road right now, taking right side tires. They're going to take in 2 cans of fuel here, planning on running it towards the end. Said he wanted to go out and be perfect. So this is his chance to do it as we finish out here in Daytona, guys.
Well, the first question you asked was strategy, Michael, and we're starting to see it develop here a little bit.
Yeah, Corey LaJoie decided to stay on the racetrack. He last pitted on lap number 34, so he probably can only go another 15, 20 laps, something like that.
6th caution of the night. A handful of trucks involved, including a couple of rookies.
Now, I will say that the drivers who pitted there topping off thinking that maybe they can make it on field to the end, but there weren't a lot of drivers that came in. Quite a few kept track position. They mentioned something about Corey LaJoie. I'm curious to see it with how many more laps are going to get under caution. We'll probably see more trucks top off just to take a little bit of extra fuel and give up the track position in case it stays green to the end. Even if it doesn't stay green to the end, that allows the drivers that are pitting now to be able to save fuel under cautions to hopefully make it to the end, and they will not have to pit going forward the rest of the race. So by pitting now, I think it puts you in a better spot than if you were to not pit, just considering the fact that whether you can make it or not, I would have to imagine we're going to get more cautions. I don't think this is going to stay green to the end. The way this race has gone so far, we haven't had much green flag racing. It wasn't really a wreck fest until we got to stage 2, and now it's slowly kind of turning that way. If we get a lot of green flag racing going on here, I would think that it's not going to be a wreck fest, but middle going to the race definitely plagued with cautions and crashes. Luis, thanks for tuning in. Also, he's pulling for Craftsman, or at least predicting Craftsman for the win. Mark Barnum, thanks for tuning in. These guys drive like morons. Will Arnett, thanks for tuning in also. Pulling for Zane Smith. Completely forgot Sammy Smith is in the race. Only driver they haven't mentioned. Yeah, they haven't really mentioned him much. They haven't mentioned Chase Elliott much either, though, to be completely honest. Chase in 10th. Sammy Smith in 13th. And Smith will be running for Joe Gibbs Racing in the 18 car full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year. Bright young prospect at the age of 18. Curious to see what he'll do. I think honestly he's going to make it to the playoffs. He's got the equipment. I think he's got the talent. It'll be fun to watch him this year. Maybe he can go out, win a race. We'll see. We'll get some extra track experience at Daytona because I don't think he has been here before. So it's most of the reason why he is running this Truck Series race in that 17. Tricon Racing. Again, that was the DGR Crossley team. But they have rebranded completely, changing their name, changing manufacturers from Ford to Toyota. One of 3 major truck teams to make manufacturer changes during this offseason. Of course, Kyle Busch Motorsports going from Toyota to Chevy as well. And then the ThorSport team going from Toyota to Ford. So all the manufacturer changes you saw were literally across all 3 different manufacturers. This does put more Ford teams in the field because I think there were really only like 3 or 4 beforehand. So they have a little bit more in the numbers game now, at least in the Truck Series side of things. Still kind of lacking that in the Xfinity. I guess there's an extra team with Custer moving down, but that's only one. That's one race team, not a whole organization. And we do have more trucks on pit road right now, topping off on fuel again, which as I expected.
And I'm guessing here, let's top off with fuel before we go back to the green flag.
It's the 3rd time I've ripped my earpiece out of my ear already.
Full distance, we feel like we can probably make it.
Yeah, stop doing that. At least it doesn't hurt.
To the end.
This is going to be really, really interesting.
Talk about aggressive now. We've seen aggressive, but knowing that there could be possible rain coming, and maybe majority of the field is pitted for the last time.
Hey, let's talk about some of the other players up there. In order to get this restart, you got Ankrum, You got Zane Smith, Timmy Hill, part of that mix up there. This is going to be a fun little restart.
Oh, Chase Elliott still lurking.
And actually, I believe Timmy Hill is showing up there on the scoring monitor. He actually came down pit road, so scratch him off the list. Timing and scoring had not yet updated. Front row is going to be Corey LaJoie, Tyler Ankrum. Row 2, Zane Smith and Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton.
Been there all night.
I mean, but so good over the years. I mean, he's got 15 career wins, 3 championships, but he's never been able to finish the deal at Daytona.
He's got 2 fifth-place finishes, or his best finishes here.
They're adding a lap because of some debris on the racetrack. Every lap they add makes Corey LaJoie happier. And I say that because, man, the radar is predicting, it's looking like the rain is coming pretty soon.
Yeah, imminent.
It's been a nutty night. You know who might be able to put it all in perspective? Travis Pastrana. Let's listen in.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you said your heart rate was up. I mean, you jump out playing with no shoes. That would be a little worse to me. No, I knew all my buddies were out there to help me. I think everyone else is out here to push me kind of a little late.
Jumped out of a plane without a parachute. Did y'all hear that?
I mean, I got friends. I don't have any good enough that I trust I jump out of a plane without a parachute and rely on them to get me through it.
Adam, we'd miss you. We would miss you, though.
That is a show on wheels right there, Travis Pastrana.
Getting the 1-to-go signal once again. Again, there was debris on the track. Looks like the 2 truck is in. Nick Sanchez, Stuart Friesen's back on pit road again. Many laps down. He's still in the race, but 5 laps down. So it does sound like there is rain on the way, which would be the reasoning for why Corey LaJoie continues to stay out of the pits. He's not going to be able to go too much further, you'd have to imagine. And we're going to have about 36 laps to go when the field takes the green flag this time by. Will they make it to the checker, or will the race end under yellow due to rain? I don't think we've seen the last caution. I can guarantee that, whether it is rain or whether it is a crash. These guys have been a little overly aggressive throughout the course of this one, but knowing that any lap could really be the last, it has definitely upped the animosity amongst these teams at the front of the field. I'm surprised that so many teams at the back of the pack are hanging around as far back as they are, knowing the situation we're in right now with rain on the way. Bad blocking has caused the last 2 crashes. But they will be getting the green flag this time. No extra lap added. As the field is working their way off of turn 4, the pace truck will head to pit road. 36 laps to try to decide the winner of the race, but any one of those could be the last with rain on the way. On to pit road goes the pace truck. Corey LaJoie, once again, electing the inside. It'll be the control truck again on the restart. Gets a push from Zane Smith. Green flag back in the air. Only 6 trucks on the top. A lot of trucks going down to the bottom on the choose lane. So the lack of numbers up there on the outside is going to be very, very interesting to see how they get going here. And one of those trucks on the outside has a bunch of damage. That'd be the 99 of Ben Rhodes, involved in a wreck at the end of stage 2 with Friesen's bad block. Chase Elliott is up in the mix right now. He's the 3rd truck on the outside lane behind Matt Crafton and Tyler Ankrum. St. Smith getting a push there from Tanner Gray. Corey LaJoie moving up to the outside lane right in front of the 16. The 16 gets sandwiched between the 88 and the 7. Goes to the outside. 3 wide for the race lead. LaJoie's going to get split 3 wide middle. Nobody going with him. Chase Elliott thought about it, but LaJoie moving around, dancing around, trying to just hold his lane, and nobody wants to go with him and got put right in the sucker hole. Back of the line goes Corey LaJoie. Although there's not really many trucks that are actually running in this lead pack, he's only going to fall back to about 13th. Zane Smith will take the race lead and lead the opening lap following the restart. Tanner Gray up to 2nd. Colby Howard back in the mix after he was involved in that crash at the end of stage 2. Went spinning in the grass, didn't have a lot of damage. He's recovered. 3rd in line on the inside. And he is getting a massive shot from the 19 of Christian Eckes, who has been a really good push truck as far as giving drivers great shots. Had the 9 a little sideways on the backstretch, and the 9, while still being sideways, pushed the 15. Surprised that didn't spark anything. Other than good momentum on the bottom, they were able to hold on. Matt Crafton has probably been the lone driver. Him and I'd say Christian Eckes in the 19 are the two drivers that have been absolutely up towards the front of the field from start of this race to where we're at right now, 2/3 of the way home. Tanner Gray on the back bumper of Zane Smith, not pulling out a line yet. He'll stay on the bottom. Gets a push from the 9 truck. Will he maybe try to make a move? Daniel Dye and Raja Caruth standing in outside the infield care center.
Raja Caruth and Daniel Dye. And Raja, I want to start with you. This is just your 5th ever start in trucks. What can you take from the incident today?
Yeah, I mean, I really learned a lot tonight. That's just a pretty unfortunate deal. 99 was pushing me really good, and I was trying not to get put through middle, and didn't want to jack up the 35, so I just filled it, and 38 started coming down, and I lifted to not hook him, and I don't really know what happened at that point, so it just took off on me. But our Wendell Scott Silverado was really good tonight, and I can't say enough about the men and women at GMS Racing and General Motors, Chevy, for their support of me, and especially Miller Wheel Seats, Alpine Stars, and Bell Helmets. So wish it worked out tonight.
Daniel came over and gave a big hug to Raja before our interview, and you told your team top 30, boys. But when you recap this Daytona experience for you, what do we think of?
Yeah, it's a bit crazy for us, not getting to practice, having a little trouble in qualifying. But overall with the race, I mean, I was happy with what we had working. I was just trying to learn. First stage was kind of our practice plan. I was trying to get my practice there, but those guys, having trouble coming to 5 to go that first stage kind of held us up. But good little fight back. We were in the mix there for a second, just got caught up in the big one.
Thank you, Amanda. Caution is out.
So it sounds like rain bringing out our 7th caution of the race. The 3rd time rain has brought out a yellow, and the 4th time it has rained. It was raining during a couple of different caution flags earlier in the race. It's been kind of spotty off and on. We haven't had any long red flag instances due to the rain, so I haven't had to get the jet dryers out there. Hopefully that'll stay the same here. But it has definitely plagued this race one way or another. Not as bad as what we usually see when rain arrives in a NASCAR race, but it is definitely making this race a bit longer than it probably has to be. As long as it doesn't start to... So surprised there's rain again. I'd be surprised if we actually make it to the finish at this point just because of how many cautions we've had for rain. It's just so strange how it rains and then it stops. And the cameras are picking it up every time. But it rains and then it stops. But it doesn't rain long enough to lose the track by any means, so they're able to just go right back to green. But they have to run caution to try to monitor it. And just don't know how heavy it actually is raining, if the drivers will be able to run. And a lot of that is due to the crash we saw at Daytona in the Cup Series in August last season, where rain was already there in turns 1 and 2. The field barreled in 3x3 in the pack with about 20 to go, and all lost control simultaneously, sparking a crash with more than 20 cars. Trying to avoid any situation like that, so I don't blame them for the cautions, and we have actually seen the rain too, so good calls by NASCAR. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances that is the case today. Zane Smith is currently your race leader, though. 0.3 of a second. I guess that doesn't really... They're under caution, so the intervals aren't going to be exactly accurate. But Zane Smith is your race leader. Tanner Gray is in 2nd. Christian Eckes 3rd. Colby Howard 4th. Grant Enfinger is currently in 5th. Ty Majeski 6th. Tyler Ankrum 7th. Corey Heim 8th. Matt Crafton 9th. Chase Elliott is 10th. Corey LaJoy is 11th, Ben Rhodes 12th, Carson Hocevar 13th, Travis Pastrana 14th, Sammy Smith 15th, Jay White in 16th, Timmy Hill 17th, Chase Purdy 18th, Jack Wood 19th, and Nick Sanchez is 20th. Derek Krause in 21st, Josh Reaume 22nd, Mason Massey 23rd. Matt DiBenedetto is still on the lead lap somehow after being involved in 2 wrecks. He is 24th. Chris Wright is 25th, and Jason White is the last truck in the lead lap at 26. Chris Hacker is a lap down at 27th. He'll get the free pass, I do believe, with this caution. Stuart Friesen is in 28th. Raja Caruth, 29th. Daniel Dye, 30th. Brett Holmes, 31st. Parker Kligerman, 32nd. 33rd. Cody Rodabaugh, 34th. Clay Greenfield, Haley Deegan, 35th. Dean Thompson, 36th. And every truck from Caruth in 29th on back is out of the race. Friesen is 5 laps down at 28th, but still running. No red flag given at this point so far. Still under caution, but it is definitely raining at the Daytona International Speedway once again. Your stage winners so far today, Christian Eckes won stage 1. He is currently 3rd. And Tyler Ankrum won stage 2. He is currently 7th. I think the weather only showed a 24% chance of rain for today leading up to the start of this race, but it has definitely rained off and on, but spotty at that. Again, no major red flags for rain, just kind of running those extra caution laps, waiting for it to go away, and haven't lost the racetrack to this point as we have 30 laps to go. Biggest movers of the race so far, Corey LaJoie up 18 spots from the start, as well as Tyler Ankrum. 16 spots up for Colby Howard. Tanner Gray's up 15, and Chase Purdy up 14 spots. He started at the rear of the field after qualifying top 10 earlier on this afternoon. I'm fortunate with having off Friday through Saturdays also. I was able to watch practice for all 3 series today, so I've been watching NASCAR since like 3:30 this afternoon. I'm blessed to be able to do that. I mean, I'm hard at work right now on this, but my actual job, I thankfully have weekends off now. Hunger will make you grab caution snacks. There you go. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. 30 laps to go so far tonight in the NextEra Energy 250. 7 cautions, few for rain. This current yellow for rain. We've had 3 wrecks and a stage break. Have been all the accidents so far. 7 drivers have DNF'd. And Stuart Friesen well off the pace. Hacker again got the free pass, so 27 trucks on the lead lap right now. Still in contention to try to go for the win. The race is not over. Nope. Still under caution. Lights still out on the pace truck right now as we are continuously under caution. Fans are in the stands still. Got a QR code on TV right now for Craftsman. I can't show that to you guys on stream. Get copyrighted for showing the coverage of the race. Can't help out on that one. I like how they showed Crank It Up right before that, even though they're under caution. Same graphic from earlier when they did go to the Crank It Up. It definitely looks like it is still currently raining. It's not heavy enough to bring the trucks onto pit road yet. Haven't lost the racetrack. But they definitely won't be going green this time by. Still see the rain on the camera shots all around the racetrack here for Fox. Here's Zane Smith's crew chief with Regan Smith.
Back to the front, a position you guys are familiar with at the end of the races at Daytona here. What's your driver saying right now? Is it raining too hard? Does he want to call it right now?
I mean, I think he wants to win this thing under green just like anybody, but no, he just said it's pretty slick out there right now. He just said that, so yeah, I'm good with it either way. Winning under green, winning under caution, whatever.
Been a big night for this group of guys as well, and yourself. You got her big couple nights. You guys are actually crewing the car that he's going to be racing in the Daytona 500. You guys raced your way in last night. How much of a high is this whole team on right now?
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Really cool to be able to share that with him. His first start at Daytona 500, and for us to do it as the same group that won a championship last year as a truck team. So yeah, it's really cool, and we're looking forward to it Sunday.
Things going very well for Chris Lawson and Zane Smith right now, Adam.
Yeah, they really have played the game perfectly tonight. And, you know, to add another nugget to his resume, he came into the evening with 999 career laps led, so he's now gone over 1,000. And here's how he got the top spot. This could end up being a pass for the win right here.
Yeah, they both squeezed around Corey LaJoie. Zane gets the lead. Tyler Ankrum leading that outside lane. But what a great move that was for Zane.
Had a little help from behind from Tanner Gray, and Tanner right now winds up in that second spot. Great run for him tonight.
The rain all night has been the kind that you barely turn your windshield wipers on. In fact, it's that kind of rain where you keep turning them on and turning them off, right? It's just never materialized fully.
But you got treaded tires and you're running 60 miles an hour on the road.
That's a good point.
These guys run 180 on the flex. And for right now, I guarantee you Zane Smith says it's pouring.
I said that like someone who's never driven a race car. Didn't I, Michael?
Got to be fairly easy, right?
Yeah. Doesn't look that bad to me. It has been a good night for Zane Smith. But I think, you know, you have to give a call to some of these other drivers up there. Christian Eckes wins the stage. He's running third. I mean, we haven't said a whole lot tonight about Grant Enfinger, but here he is in the 5th position, someone we feel like could be a huge player in the championship chase.
Other than he's missed about every wreck we've had. He's been right in the middle of it.
And Tanner Gray's been in every wreck they seem to have had it. He's running in second. So there's some great stories out there. What a crazy night.
What do you see, Jamie?
Well, Grant Enfinger, as you mentioned, he was pretty unhappy after qualifying. He was disappointed in the speed that they had. He thought that they had a faster truck than that, but it's kind of unfolded. This race has come to them a little bit. Like you said, they've been able to stay out of trouble. But the big thing for he and his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, is that they're approaching this season with more aggression than what they've had before. He said, we have so much experience on this team right now, and there's so many rookies in the field. We need to strike while the iron's hot. Make the most of it these early stages of the season. They brought out this brand new truck here for the super speedways this year. He said they've learned a lot of information about it, and there's some good things coming for them, but it's going to come on the heels of them being more aggressive in their decision making.
And I got to hand it to you, Phil. You talk about how close he's been to so many accidents tonight, but that truck looks really, really good right now, doesn't it? All right, tomorrow on Fox, it's a UConn basketball doubleheader. First at 11:30 Eastern, the 20th ranked men.
Still under caution. Rain at the racetrack. It looked like it was kind of picking up a little bit. Last couple of camera angles around the Daytona International Speedway. ABG2, thanks for tuning in. The car's still on the track for right now with currently 27 laps to go. 2 drivers are tied for the most laps led today. Corey LaJoie with 19 laps led, and the number 7 and the number 19 of Christian Eckes has led 19 laps as well. Zane Smith, your race leader, currently has led 11 laps and counting under the caution. Tyler Ankrum, third most with 15 laps led. Got 10 different leaders so far in today's race for a total of 21 lead changes. So again, they can call the race. They're well past the halfway mark and the end of stage 2. Not sure how long this rain is going to stay. Still under caution now, but they are bringing the trucks to pit road. So the jet dryers will get to work. trucks are on pit road. Zane Smith is currently your race leader. Tanner Gray is in second. Christian Eck is third. Colby Howard fourth. Grant Enfinger is in fifth. Ty Majeski in sixth. Tyler Ankrum seventh. Corey Heim eighth. Matt Craft in ninth. And Chase Elliott is 10th. Any interviews that we will get from any drivers during this break, obviously you guys will get to listen in, but we are waiting this out. Who's going to win? My pick was Corey LaJoie. We are under red flag for the second time today. Crash/rain earlier, but this time it seems like we have actually lost the racetrack, so they will bring the jet dryers out. And we will have to wait and see. 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 40 seconds of action so far. The race frozen, time frozen as well. Covers are going on the race trucks as well. Just 27 laps to go too, and the rain has picked up. Zane Smith trying to win back-to-back Truck Series races at Daytona. He was able to win the championship last year. The last two drivers to win at Daytona in the Truck Series went on to win the championship. Ben Rhodes in 2021, Zane Smith in 2022. Zane Smith could be on his way to winning here at Daytona for the second consecutive year. Does that mean he will win the championship again as well? I was going to say, they were talking about record highs in Daytona. At least Adam Alexander just stated that. I noticed during practice earlier today, it was like 85 degrees during truck practice. And I know it's Florida, but that seems very warm in February. Meanwhile, at my house today, it was a high of 23. But, needless to say, I live in an igloo, and they don't call Florida the Sunshine State for nothing. Yeah, so drivers are out of the race trucks right now. Under red, and we're just waiting for official word at this point. Jermaine Granger Jr., thanks for tuning in. Looking pretty likely for Zane Smith to get the win here. Will they continue to race tomorrow if they have to? No, because we're past halfway. So the race will end tonight, whether it is for rain or we get back to racing. But just 27 laps to go. I just don't see them finishing this off. Most situations with this few of laps left, they wouldn't wait it out. They did last year, the August Daytona race, but that was probably because... Well, here's Regan Smith with Zane Smith currently.
Racing, but it's not bad if it keeps raining either.
Yeah, I picked a good time to get to the lead. It was fun racing there right before this rain came, but man, this is the hardest rain I've ever seen in my life.
I've tried doing weather predictions earlier tonight. I'm not going to do it anymore. You told me earlier today how good this truck was. You guys had a plan and strategy that if you couldn't get stage points early, you were going to hang out and play that strategy. You and Chris Lawson played this race perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to tag along with a few that I trusted there in Chase and Corey, and it was scary up there at times. 3 wide, going for stage 1 points. I knew it wasn't going to work out. So, fortunately, I got our Love's Speedco Ford F-150. I'm still trying not to say Mustang. Up front at the right time, and saying good.
All right, good luck if we get going. Amanda?
Points that he's been able to pick up so far in the stages. And Nick, when you reflect on the race that you've had so far,
now
what's
with
been
Nick
the biggest learning
Sanchez
lesson for you?
Just the way these things move around in the draft and the way they suck up, and how they react to people around you, behind you, beside you. So that's been a learning curve. But I mean, the truck's driving really good, and at the end we were just kind of riding, waiting for something to happen up front, and then we were going to go.
Well, you took this trucks field to the green flag. Walk us through that first lap and just what was going through the emotional side of your body.
Yeah, for me, I just didn't want to get too far out front to let the outside go around me, and that's exactly what happened. So, did a little stuff wrong on the start there, but figured it out, and really getting acclimated to the way these things are driving, and I hope it dries up because I think we got a truck.
Congrats again on pole in your rookie debut.
A lot to build on for the rookie out of Miami, Florida. So Zane mentioned he was trying not to say Mustang. He was here at a Mustang last month, experienced great success.
Sure did. Had 4 of our drivers here, well, 3 of them plus Harrison Burton. This is them battling through the bus stop on the backstretch here. They end up both on the podium. Harrison and Zane go to victory lane with a win. That's the pass for the lead over Spencer Papaley right there. A great accomplished road racer. And Haley Deegan and Ben Rose end up finishing 3rd. So double podium for the Ford guys.
That's awesome. Any win at Daytona is special, and those, you can tell by the smiles on their faces, that was a big one.
It's a memorable 24 hours for Zane Smith. You think about everything that he experienced last night, racing his way in to the Daytona 500, make his 2nd career Cup start here on Sunday, but his first ever in the Great American Race, and now waiting out the rain and hoping for a 2nd straight year he can win at Daytona in the Craftsman Truck Series. Regan?
Well, Christian Eckes in 3rd place. Zane Smith told us just a couple of minutes ago, Christian, this is the hardest
Talking to
he's
Christian
ever seen in
Eckes.
his life. I got to imagine you probably disagree with that statement.
I swear, if he Mickey Mouses his way into this, I'm going to be so mad. But other than that, I'm really happy with my number 19 Napa Auto Care Chevrolet. It's really, really fast. So hopefully this rain dries up and we get the Titans out there and get the racetrack and we go finish these 20-some laps and hopefully get this number 19 to victory lane.
Brand new deal for you this season. You started off with a stage win here at Daytona. Been very strong all night long with this truck. How much does that mean to be able to come out and have this speed early on?
That means a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to be here, winning stages, doing what I feel like we should be doing, contending for wins, and we've done that so far, and like I said, just hopefully we can get back green here.
All right, good luck as we get going. Thanks.
I like his attitude. He wants to race, and why not? He's sitting 3rd on the board, won a stage, and he's got a fast truck. Under the red flag because of rain here at Daytona.
Well, you heard it right there from Christian Eckes that he is calling it a Mickey Mouse win for Zane Smith. You can definitely tell that he watches his NASCAR YouTube and is probably in Reddit chats everywhere in NASCAR land. So Christian Eckes knows what's up. Honestly, though, Zane Smith was one of the few trucks that have been towards the front of the field most of this race, so I think he'd be a deserving winner, even if this race does get rain shortened. Well, obviously, I'm pretty lenient with saying that anybody who wins is a deserving winner, even in rain-shortened races in this situation, because you knew the rain was coming, you knew you had to get going, especially at a track like Daytona and Talladega, where you've earned your way to the front of the field, and you're trying to fend everybody off like any lap is the last lap. And in this case, whenever the caution came out was with, 32 laps to go, that happened to be the last lap, as long as they end up calling it at least. Still under red flag conditions, but NASCAR has not called it up to this point. ABG2, thanks for tuning into the stream. Liz Bastic, thanks for tuning in also. Arca Menard Series tomorrow. Yep, and Xfinity. It will be right here on the channel for you. I'll have coverage for both races. Live commentary will begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for the Arca race, and then we will have a break in between races. Another live stream at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the start of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. The Beef, it's What's for Dinner 300. It's a great title sponsor for this race for the 3rd consecutive year, by the way, also. Beef. Too bad the Wendy's car isn't in that race. I was thinking about that earlier today. You should have a Wendy's car in the Xfinity Series race this weekend, too. I mean, literally on Gregson's car, on the hood, it says The Beef. Why can't they have a paint scheme like that in The Beef? It's What's for Dinner 300. Sport highlights every day, 1082. Thanks for tuning in. Got a sub then. Yeah, for sure. Every weekend, right here on the channel, live commentary. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. There's Speed Week so far. We hit our high number of Speed Week so far. We're just getting more and more viewers every day we do this. Appreciate the support as always. topped out at over 200 people earlier on in the stream. Why am I singing basketball? Oh, okay. That scared me. I thought they booted the race. I don't have Fox Sports 2 on Hulu, I don't believe. Oh my gosh. Currently drying the racetrack. I'm not sure if it's still raining or not, though. Talking with Matt Crafton right now.
Jamie.
For Matt Crafton, you know, when we talked before the race, he said it was one of the best trucks he's had at Daytona here in a very long time. Felt like you were in contention to possibly win this one, but now it's raining. We're under this red flag condition. You said that was the worst the truck's been all night right before this came out. What's unfolded?
I didn't say it was worst truck's been all night. It was more the outside lane. The guy that was leading the outside lane just wouldn't back up to me so I could get to him to push him. Our truck's really good, but you gotta have somebody in front of you that knows how to back up to you so you can push, be able to push him. And I wouldn't be able to push him until I got just before the corner, so we couldn't make the outside lane surge like we needed to. And that's the aggravating part, because by far the worst we've been track position all night. So these guys worked really hard, and this thing's really, really good. It drives very good. I can go where I want to go, and I know if I can lead, and I got somebody behind me that can push me and that'll stay with me throughout the whole time. We got the lead with Ty, and then he chunked me out, and then finished second that first stage. But all in all, like I said, I gotta thank these guys. They've worked really hard on this thing.
So much encouragement behind you right now. You're starting your 20th year with Menards on board with you. To be able to come in with all the experience that you have, all of these rookies, but still have that backing. What is that like as a driver?
It's unbelievable to think that a sponsor like Menards and John Menard and everybody at Menards, all the people that work at Menards, all the people, the vendors at Menards that stand behind the race program, do their on the doors, and they give us this opportunity. It's incredible to think that I've been doing it as long as I have, and just have the backing that I have. I can't thank them enough.
Let's see if we can get back to racing. Thank you, Matt.
Matt Crafton, 46 years old, out of California. Said it earlier tonight, making his 522nd career start. It all began at the end of 2000 when he raced.
Wow.
What was his home track, Fontana, California.
I didn't realize he's been that long.
3-time series champ. Got it done back-to-back, 13 and 14. Did it again 4 years ago.
522 starts in a series that only runs 23 to 25 races a year is pretty impressive. I didn't realize he had his debut back in 2000. Fontana finished 9th in his debut. Should have known he was going to be a 3-time truck champion from that day. 15 wins. You would think he has more wins considering he has 3 championships. Hasn't won since 2020 at Kansas. Regan Smith with Tanner Gray.
Drivers off to a great start right now so far this season, running in second place currently. First race with new crew chief Jerame Donnelly. You guys seem to be communicating well, but I did hear you saying something on the radio about your truck not being able to get to the ones in front of you like you like. Is there some splitter damage or something we need to worry about there?
Yeah, we have a little bit of splitter damage just from the first deal we got caught up in over here, and then also getting squeezed up into the fence over there. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, hasn't been as smooth as we'd want it to be, but we're in a good spot right now, and just kind of figure out how to capitalize on it. I mean, obviously having this damage is going to make it tough, but everybody from Tricon Garage has brought it really fast. Dead on Tools TRD Toyota Tundra, so I'm excited. Like I said, not as smooth of a start as we would like, but you know, they're not always perfect, so we just got to figure out how we can make the end of this race play out the way we need it to, and put ourselves in a good spot.
When I walked up to you, you're in the middle of an in-depth conversation on the phone. Can you clue me in as to what that phone call was or what was taking place there?
Yeah, I was just talking to Coleman Presley up on top of the stand there. You know, I don't have a lot of experience being up front in these things, and I don't feel like I'm the best plate racer. So I was just talking to him, and he was walking me through some stuff and kind of just talking about strategy for what we're thinking here on this next restart when we get back going. So, yeah, we just got to see how it plays out.
Certainly a good opportunity and a good guy to talk to. Coleman Presley, one of the best on the roof there is. Amanda?
Currently sitting in the 12th position, Carson Hocevar absolutely wants to finish this race here at Daytona. When you look at the race that we've had so far, pretty disjointed out there with the rain and the cautions. What do you make of it?
I mean, good old truck series, right? It's full-blown chaos. You don't know what's going to happen the next lap. Hopefully this rain stops. Mother Nature figures it out and wants to see us go racing again. I got a really good teammate, Travis Pastrana. He's used to being either all the way out or firewall deep, and that's what we want to do. We want to be up front, and we want to have a shot to win for both our WEC Chevys, but ultimately, it's tough for me to look at that screen because they're all guys I know we're going to have to race in the points, and they're ahead of us, so I want to go out and get more points on them and try to outrace them and try to get victory lane, but overall, our truck handles really good. It drives just fine. I love where it's at. I wish I could have got those last 5 laps if I knew that was going to end it.
Well, you told me that Daytona is not your favorite racetrack, but when you talk about the good old truck series, what's your intentions on the season?
I want to win races. I'm here to win races, and this one kind of puts my hands into everybody else's fate. Well, there's 35 other ticket time bombs, and they think I'm the 36. We're just sitting in line waiting to crash almost. We're all real greedy at times, but it's entertaining for the fans, and that's what's more important, and that's what pays the bills.
Jamie?
For Colby Howard, looking at his name on the board right now, having led 2 laps, that put a big smile on your face just seeing those numbers up there. The effort that this team has put in to start off this full season range for the championship. How has this race unfolded for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic.
Talking with Colby Howard right now, currently in 4th.
We had a good strategy right there and got up front, got to stay up front for a little bit, but we got shuffled back. Some of the guys don't really like me up there, I don't think. So I think I have to stay on the bottom and just kind of make them push me. But no, it's a blast running up front, and hopefully we can keep going.
When I first came over, nerves was one of the words that you used. You said it's getting pretty hectic, it's nerve-wracking. How do you manage all of that when you're behind the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, we led some laps last year here at this race, so I got a little bit of experience being out front, being in the draft with some of these guys with aggressive pushes. So already had a little bit of experience with that. So and we have some aggressive guys up front right now. So just trying to keep it cool and stay calm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Got word from NASCAR making progress with the track. Under the red flag for rain, 27 to go. Zane Smith in charge at Daytona.
Well, there you go. Sounds like we are going to try to get back to racing here. Waiting out a red flag for rain currently for those of you just tuning in. KJ Productions also welcome into the stream. I think you were the newcomer into the chat. Colton Schwartz also welcome. Give me a year and I can give Daytona 500 winner and champ. There you go. One hour, 54 minutes, 40 seconds into the race, not counting the red flag time that we have had both during this red flag. Then we actually had a red flag earlier for a crash right in the middle of stage 2. It was actually the first caution of the race. 6 truck crash in the middle of the tri-oval. Collected Deaton Thompson, Haley Deegan, Clay Greenfield, Matt DiBenedetto was involved. He continued, and then he ended up getting caught up in another wreck, but is still in the lead lap despite being involved in 2 wrecks. He is in 22nd. Bunch of holes on the front of his race truck. Waiting on this race to get back to green flag racing. It does seem optimistic that they will get back to racing. Honestly, I thought that they might have called it, but I guess it didn't rain long enough. It's not a terribly long red flag if they do get back to racing here fairly soon. I haven't looked at the radar yet for Daytona. I'm going to do that right now. Go to the good old Weather Channel app. It's 25 degrees in my house right now. For those of you wondering, 71 in Daytona. It's clear after 10 o'clock hour, showing 60% chance of rain right now. Most of the rain seems to be more towards the south side of Daytona Beach. Alright, so zooming in. Here is the racetrack right now. Now, this is what the radar's showing. There we go, it's outlined. So you can see the tri-oval, the Daytona International Speedway. And you can see all the green. That is rain on radar. I'm no meteorologist, but I think that indicates rain. It is covering most of the track. And you can see that if it has been like that for most of the night, why it has rained and why it has not rained. They've been right on the outskirts of a storm right now. Not really even a storm, it's just rain. No thunderstorms or anything of that nature. No lightning delays, but kind of a steady on and off rain throughout the course of the night. And it disappears, at least according to the radar. But granted, I mean, this stuff is hard to predict. Meteorologists get it wrong all the time, too, so not exactly sure how this is going to go, but hopefully we can get this thing in. I wasn't optimistic at first, but I'm more optimistic now than what I was when the rain first started. Travis Glanton, the Tower Enthusiast, thanks for tuning in. Rick Lamar, Robert Perkle, also welcome in. Yep, it is raining in Daytona, unfortunately. Another day in the state of Florida, I guess. You know, there is sometimes I kind of wonder why they call it the Sunshine State when it rains there every day. When it's not raining, it's sunny, but I mean, isn't that most places? Sure, they have cloudy days in Florida. I don't live there, though, year-round, so I can't confirm that. Be sure to hit the like button, though, if you haven't done so already, and also subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NASCAR content. Waiting on this thing to get back to racing. One thing I wanted to do, I haven't done yet. At the end of Stage 2 for every race, there's a crash right on the last lap of Stage 2, and I forgot about it. But at the end of Stage 2, every live commentary live stream from now going forward, I'm going to show you guys off some die casts on my wall. I have a bunch of them. I never really get to show them off other than like on these streams where you guys can kind of see them, but they're far away. So I'm going to try to give you guys at least some sort of like in-depth update on, you know, what I end up giving you guys. Let me think here. I guess with this being the first truck race, I'll show you guys a truck diecast. Of the 124 scale diecast, I only have one truck, so I might as well show it off in a Truck Series live stream. Thomas Coate, thanks for tuning in also. Cote. Got the accent on the E. Watching from Toronto, thanks for tuning in. Alright, so who would have thought that the only NASCAR Truck Series diecast I have that is a 124 scale would be a Jay Sauter diecast, but it is a Good Wrench number 3. I can't remember what year this is. I think it was 96. I think 1996 was the year that this diecast was. I have the box somewhere in my closet, but I have a bunch of the boxes in there, so I don't know if I'll be able to find it right away. But yeah, Jay Sauter. 1996, before they even raced at Daytona in the Truck Series. They didn't race there until 2000. But this is the... I'll enlarge the picture here. I won't enlarge the picture. I'll just put it closer to the camera. But 1997? Okay, 97. I'll take your word for it. Jay Sauter not raced in 1996? It was a DEI. Well, it wasn't DEI. I think it was a Richard Childress race. Yeah, it'd be Childress, number 3. The Childress truck. But, I mean, it's basically the same paint scheme that Dale Sr. would run. Black number 3. But, yeah, it is Jay Sauter. Going on to Racing Reference real quick. Not that I don't believe you, but I do want to... I mean, I can find the box. 97, I mean, I definitely knew it was somewhere around there. 95 was the first year of the truck series. Mike Skinner, I think, drove the truck that year. Jay Sauter. 60 years old right now. Only made 2 cup starts in his career. Interesting. 2002. Just 1 career Xfinity pole. He's got 4 career truck wins. It definitely wasn't 90. Well, it could have been 96, but it probably wasn't. He didn't run full time that year. 1997. He ran full time. He ran full time 97 through 99. 4 wins, 2 in 99, 1 in 97, and 1 in 98. 1997 was his most consistent season. 1 win, 10 top 5s, 15 top 10s, led 54 laps. 6th in points, 4th in points, and 5th in points those 3 years. Enough about Jay Sauter. Here's Corey LaJoie with Reagan Smith.
Came time for
he
what
cut
was
his hair.
Possibly going to be the final pit stops of the night.
Doesn't even look like him anymore.
Got told there was a little miscommunication there.
It's a little bit of miscommunication, as in no communication. Unfortunately, I think that the green light on top of the pace truck, I didn't point it out, Spotter didn't point it out, and Bono didn't realize it was on, and we missed it. But we were still in a decent spot, leading the lane, and I didn't cover the bottom with as much intent as I should have. I just didn't trust the spot mirror. The spot mirror in the trucks are a little bit different than they are in the cup cars, and I thought he was in there, and I didn't want to hook myself. So we got to start back from the scratch again. So we drove from the back to the front twice now, so why don't we make it 3 more times to get the same victory lane?
You mentioned going from back to the front. The truck's obviously very good. Are you going to be the show here in just a little bit for us then?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm awake, and I'm caffeinated by Celsius here, so might as well, if we get this thing back kicked off, we're going to go to the front.
I might need to borrow some of that caffeine here shortly. Good luck, Corey. Thanks.
Yes, please send a whole case of the caffeine here as well.
No caffeine needed for me. I am all on adrenaline at this point. I'm excited to get back to racing, though. Definitely want to see this end under green. As many races under green as we could possibly get. By green, I don't mean rain on the radar. Troy, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else new enter the chat that I haven't already shouted out. Yeah, still under red flag conditions right now. Restart with 23 to go. Sounds about right. Got 27 to go right now. It would be 26 as soon as I get back going again. Ty Majeski standing in for mid-race interview.
Call to pit lane. A lot of strategy calls unfolding here tonight. Exciting was the word that you used. What's made it that way?
Just aggression, right? Guys are pushing hard, being aggressive, going 3 wide. I don't think anybody's very scared, and eventually something had to give. We're been in wrecks, been in the grass, so it's been an eventful night for us, but Joe and all the guys brought a really, really good Road Ranger Ford F-150. We have some speed. There's a Ford leading. We're in 6th, and I think Ben and Craftsman are just outside the top 10, so hopefully we can go back green and get hooked up and get one of these Fords in victory lane.
So we heard from him, and we know that he had such a good campaign last season, right?
1997, Sauter was almost second driver fatality at Orlando Speedway. Fortunately, John Hunter has come to his injuries. Tough. He still ran every race that season, too, so. Must not have had major enough injuries to keep him out of the racetrack. Brian Holcomb, thanks for tuning in. Of course you get shouted out. Yeah, hopefully they'll go back to racing soon also. So under red flag conditions here, we haven't gone anywhere. This is definitely a longer stream than I thought. I didn't think there was any rain that potentially could have caused this delay during this race, but we have gotten it. Going a little bit longer than we were expecting today, but we will still try to take it to the end. Or at least until NASCAR calls it. But as of right now, track drying process has made some exponential gains, and they are hopefully going to get pretty close to getting back to racing here. Rain's been on and off all day. This is the second red flag of the race. But it's the first time they've actually lost the racetrack and had to get the jet dryers out there to go to work. Mark Mars, thanks for tuning in. Watching the race of hockey. Yeah, I've got a parlay going right now. 5-way. I haven't checked on that yet with the race going on. I don't know if I've won the first couple games that are probably done. Well, I had the Penguins winning. They lost. I think I had the Senators winning. They lost. I have to hit on the rest. I gotta look it up here. What I have. I gotta look this back up. Because I did a round robin, so I did a three-way round robin. So to at least get my money back. Let's see here. Got an odds booster right now. Waiting on that. Trying to find it. Yeah, lost the first two. So I had the Senators winning. I also had Pittsburgh winning. They both lost by 1 goal. So I have Dallas puck line at -1.5. They're tied 1-1 with 5 minutes left. So that's not looking very good. I had the Kings and the Rangers on the money line. The Rangers are... I might lose all 5. I mean, this is ridiculous. Max amount of money I could win back right now, even if all 3 come to fruition, I'd end up losing like $12 total. $11.22 total. $11.12. Unbelievable. Should have put money on LaJoy to win the race. At least I might have a better chance there. He's tied for the most laps led. We look at the drivers who have led so far. Corey LaJoy and Christian Eckes are tied with 19 laps led for the most. After that, Tyler Rankrum, stage winner, had led 15 laps to this point. Zane Smith, your current race leader, has led 11 laps. Eckes won stage also, by the way. And then 2 laps led apiece for Majeski, Crafton, Friesen, and Howard. And then 1 lap led for Purdy and Sanchez, the pole sitter. So 10 different leaders so far, and I believe, if I remember correctly, we have 21 lead changes in this race so far. Whoever said they have $200 won if Zane Smith finishes in the top 10 was probably praying that this rain was going to end the race. And I don't blame you. I would have been doing the same thing if I were in your situation. But looks like he's going to have to try to seal the deal now. I have not eaten dinner yet, by the way. Bad move not eating before the start of the race. I figured, I was like, there's not going to be a rain delay. Race will get done about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Sure enough, there's a rain delay. Lowe's Cup Series, thanks for tuning in. I mean, I'm going to be honest. There's no way Dallas is going to win by 2 goals. I mean, they'd have to score like quick, and then they would have to get an empty netter, which is not impossible, but there's only 3 minutes to go in the game. So that's more than likely not going to happen. The odds are not in my favor whatsoever. I almost thought about going 2-way round robin, and I didn't, and I should have. I mean, it wouldn't matter because the Rangers are down 4-2 right now too. So enough hockey. Here's Grant Edfinger.
You were disappointed following qualifying. You said we've got to be aggressive, we've got to be smart. How have you been able to do that and get yourself in this position tonight?
I feel like for the most part we've done our job today. We haven't been able to lead either lane. I feel like we've got a really good Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet. We just haven't gotten the opportunities to lead yet, but we have been able to get track position, lose it, get it back, and somehow we've made it through those 2 big ones. So we still have a whole truck, which is more than some people can say. So we still got an opportunity to win this. Me and Hensley were already talking, hey, are we taking bottom, are we taking top? We're lining up 5th, so we'll be on the 3rd row somewhere. So we'll have to see. It may take a little while to drive this track out.
One of the big talking points coming into not just this race, but this whole season has been the youth versus the, we'll call it wisdom, that's out there on the racetrack. As the race has unfolded, what role has the new crop of rookies played in what's happened?
You know, I think it's been like that in the truck series for a while, but I think everybody's been ultra aggressive the whole time. The rookies, the veterans, everybody. I mean, it's had to have been an entertaining race for the fans. I hope they've enjoyed it. The handling is starting to go away here at Daytona, which as a driver, I love that. I hope the fans love that. There's guys slipping and sliding off of turn 4 especially. I feel like we're handling a little bit better than most. I'm not saying we're handling good off of turn 4, but I think we're handling a little bit better than most. We got 27 laps to go. I don't see anybody putting tires on again. Everybody's going to want to have track position, so hopefully that's a factor for us in the end, and we can take advantage of it.
Sounds a little cautiously optimistic. We'll see what happens. Amanda? Thank you, Jamie and Stuart. Phil Parsons was
talking
saying
to Stuart Friesen right now.
A lot of special stories here tonight, and if there was a never quit driver of the night, I think I'd want to give you that award. I've seen you on this pit lane. There's been chainsaws on your car. There's been fenders pulled off. I know this team has just been working so hard. It is a special weekend for you guys here in Daytona. Why is that?
Well, it's just great to have the whole spectrum of colors on the truck for AIM Autism, our foundation, and to raise awareness for autism and also promote our golf tournament April 17th in Mooresville. So HFRRaceforAutism.com, you can go there and sign up your foursome if you want to come golf or donate or anything you can do. So it's a bummer. I just threw a late block there. I was a little too slow on the wheel and then got myself turned around and in a bad spot. So proud of my guys, the whole Halmar International team here. They've been working really, really hard to keep us out there and try to salvage as many points as we can. And that's been it. So we'll try to keep working on it, and hopefully there's a little bit more chaos in front of us, and we can pick up a couple more points here.
You were telling me that you love the truck series because all of the traveling that this series does. We're going to see North Wilkesboro this year. We're also going to see the Milwaukee Mile. When you think of your tenure in this Craftsman truck series, what comes to mind?
Oh man, I'm just proud to be here for as long as we have been. We got some great races with Ferris Commercial Mowers on board for this year for 6 races, so really proud of that. Looking forward to Texas and having the big red 52 truck, and Milwaukee's obviously one of those races too. So going to North Wilkesboro, Milwaukee, some bucket list tracks, and looking forward to the schedule this year.
And your next race?
Pardon me?
And your next race?
Yeah, our next race is going to be right here in Volusia tomorrow night in the Dirt Modified. Then back for Vegas, and then some more modified racing. So we've been down here 2 weeks racing the modified, some pavement late model stuff, and have as much fun as we can. And it looks like we're gonna get back in this 52 Halmar AIM Autism TRD Pro and keep battling.
Thank you, Stuart. Regan?
Amanda, the goal for Travis Pastrana tonight.
Now
was
talking
to
with Travis
complete
Pastrana.
all the laps, get as much experience as you could So far, you've completed that goal, and I got to tell you, listening on the radio, I don't know that there's anybody out here having more fun than you right now.
Yeah, so far so good, man. That was cool just in the pits. They got Chase Elliott and everyone around. I'm like, man, this is just freaking awesome. Living every moment. I'll tell you, that Nice Motorsports Worldwide Express truck, it's a weapon. It's awesome. And we do a lot better on the top. We've been trying to run the top, but anytime anyone gets a run on me, I got that yellow sticker in the back, and I get split 3 wide. Luckily, it's kind of fun in the middle, 3 wide. It feels like a dirt track that we had some experience last week, but no, hopefully now we got Carson right in front of me. If I can just tuck up there. I didn't want to be up front as early as I was, but how the pit strategy worked was like, hey, I think it's going to put you P5. You ready? I was born for this. Let's go.
I know the goal was to learn some stuff for Sunday in this race, so what have you been able to learn? What can you transfer to Sunday that's going to help you out in the Daytona 500?
Hopefully just gain a little bit of trust. I think, for the most part, it's finding people to work with, and I'll probably, when all the spotters are saying, hey, go around that guy if you can, he's, we don't know about him, I'm going to have to work with those guys, I think, in the 500 and hopefully work my way up. I know Jimmy's starting back with me, so maybe I just get on his bumper, and sorry, Jimmy, but try to get up there and not let anyone in. But I tell you, we've been just a little tight on the Cup car and the truck, and I think that's perfect. I feel like anyone that pushes me, I feel like we're stable. My goal is really just to, sorry, that's so windy. My goal out here is to do the best we can, to have a lot of fun, which I'm definitely having more than I bargained for, and to just make it to the end. So we're doing that right now. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Travis. Jamie?
For Ben Rhodes, one of his keys.
Getting all the interviews in now with Ben Rhodes.
Prepared for any possible situation. Your truck right now, it's got the rain cover covering up all of the tape that's on the nose of it. What has happened to put you in the position where you can't lead tonight?
Well, we might be able to lead. We don't know yet. We haven't got back to the lead. I was working really good with Christian Eckes, getting to the front for the second stage, and I had a heck of a run. He was pushing me really hard, and I didn't know exactly where to go. I could have stayed behind the 52 and hit him, and I was in a bad spot, or take the free track and potentially get the stage win. So I went that way, and as I went to the outside, the 52 was coming up the block and just ran out of real estate. So all in all, a bad deal for everybody involved, but I really do feel like our Clark's Pump and Shop F-150 is back in tip-top shape. Like the guys back in Pit Stop 40, I mean, they did a really good job getting the truck really, patched back together. Lots of air bond, drywall screws, like they did it all, and it pushed us good. I think if we can get back going here, we can get back to the front, and we could lead. But I would rather stay behind somebody and make a move at the end.
I know you had a reflective moment yesterday before practice, looking up and down the garage area, realizing that you're now one of the veterans in this series. I know you got a big laugh out of that one, but when you think about that, you think about the experience that the Truck Series has been able to give you, what do you do with it?
It's been fun. It's been fun. I've been very fortunate to have a good run here in the Truck Series, and that all is thanks to Thorsport Racing and Duke and Rhonda Thorson. So I'm just enjoying it. It's weird to hear that I'm a veteran. I don't believe it. I'm still just 25, and I hope to be doing this for a lot longer. I love the Truck Series. It's so much fun, and there's a lot of new talent coming into it, and every year is a challenge trying to learn the new guys and then still race with the old veterans that I've grown accustomed to. But all in all, it's just been a tremendous amount of fun for me, and I just hope we get back racing today, because this is what I love to do, and, rain's no fun. Nobody likes that.
Ben Rhodes has plenty of energy late in the night, but could someone please get a cup of coffee to Travis Pastrana? I mean, was he not out of control down there with Regan?
He's on the chip. He said he was made for this, right?
I felt like Regan was trying to match him, and he just couldn't get there. This umbrella.
I was thinking the same thing during his interview. I was almost kind of wondering. I'm like, rain delay, drivers tend to maybe calm down a little bit. I think a high energy guy like Travis Pastrana could be dangerous after this rain delay. Dangerous in a good way, as far as maybe competing for the win. We'll see. We got fake LeBron James in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. When is the Daytona 500? It is on Sunday. Tony Stewart will be in the broadcast booth, but he is a few years retired from the NASCAR Cup Series. But our coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday for the Daytona 500. The actual race starts I think the drop of the green flag is scheduled for 2:46 Eastern Standard Time. Talk about ramen in the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I haven't gone over this yet, but I put a poll earlier in the community tab about 6 or 7 hours for the start of the race. I asked you guys who you thought the fans would win, and after 104 votes, the most votes goes to, I mean, you could probably guess it, Chase Elliott, the number 35. He's still in this race. He's currently in the 10th place position. He had 47% of the votes of the 104 in this poll. Ben Rhodes, 6%, currently running in the 11th place position, right behind Chase Elliott. Zane Smith got 18% of the votes. He is obviously currently the race leader and the defending winner and defending champion of the series for this race. Grant Enfinger, in the number 23, has 5% of the votes. He is in 5th. And then the other is at 24%. And some of the comments for maybe some of the other picks. I know somebody mentioned Corey LaJoy. I thought that was a good pick. He's my pick to win the race today. I thought I saw a Pastrana pick as well, so just for the heck of it. So we'll see. We'll see who's going to win this one. But yeah, most of those votes went to Chase Elliott. All those drivers are in the top 11 right now and have survived the night so far, despite the fact that one of those drivers, Ben Rhodes, has been involved in an accident, and he is still ticking. Ticking, clicking, whatever the case, he's still moving. In the right direction, too, not back to the hauler. Craig Franklin, thanks for tuning in. Going to be at the 2023 Daytona 500. I am not. I was planning on going to Daytona for a long time this offseason, and then not this Thursday, but the Thursday before, I made the decision to not go this year. And I just got to give you guys a live commentary for this one throughout Speed Weeks. I was, bummed I wasn't going to go, but honestly, leading up to, once Monday hit, I was ready to go. I was ready for this race. And for the racing specifically this weekend, couldn't wait, and still can't wait for Sunday especially. It's going to be a lot of fun. First ever Daytona 500 that will be commentated on the channel, because I didn't start doing the live commentary streams until last year, and I was at Daytona last year, so did the summer race, but going to be the first 500 on the channel as far as live commentary streams go. I wish I would have started live commentary streams when I first started the channel. I don't know why it took me a year and a half to... We tested some of them in 2021, but I think I only did 8 races. 4 in the Cup, a couple Xfinity, couple trucks, tested it out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this full time next year. I don't know why I just didn't do it before. I got an interview going with, not sure who this is. I didn't hear. Young Motorsports. Derek Kraus, there he is.
Just trying to finish this thing, so I don't really think...
Couldn't tell what his name is by face. I don't think I've really seen his face many times before.
They have hardscape construction on the side of the number 20 truck, so I'm really looking forward to finish this thing out.
Always a likable character up and down pit lane here. When you think about this influx of drivers and the number of rides that are available, we watched 6 trucks go home tonight. How tough is that challenge as a driver?
It's all about finding the right piece, the right team that you can build a relationship with and that has the right equipment. So I'm looking forward to see what we can work out for the rest of the year. I feel like we got a little bit of a couple of things in work. It just takes a lot of sponsorship. So I'm looking forward to it and see what we can find.
Hopefully we'll see you again. Regan?
Jamie Chase Purdy starting his tenure.
Talking to Chase Purdy now. Getting to know all the truck drivers this weekend.
At the end of stage 2, got some much needed points there as the season begins. But now here, just a little while ago, you told me you guys were riding and it started raining. How bad do you want to get this race going right now?
I would love to get back in the race car right now, Regan. But we've been riding, and I thought in my head, I was like, well, we've had 3 cautions or so already for rain. Maybe we should go to the front, but, my crew chief and team's a lot more experienced than I am, so I'm going to trust them probably more so than myself at the moment. But, no, I hope we can get back in. We got a really fast Cowboy Motorsports number 4 Silverado, and, we can go wherever we want with it. So if we can get back in the race car, then I think our plan is going to be to try and go to the front.
I got some good news for you. Sounds like they're calling you guys back to your trucks right now.
Thank you.
KT, thanks for tuning in also. And there you heard it from Regan Smith. The drivers are getting called back to the race truck. So we're about to get back underway here. As long as the rain stays away for the rest of the night. The covers are coming off the race trucks as we speak as well. So after a rain delay of right around 40 minutes, it looks like we are going to get back to racing. What? They were just talking about a story about Chase Purdy, that his grandfather happened to be a doctor and had delivered Shannon Spake. Well, she's on NASCAR race day. I didn't know exactly how to give her a profession, but she's not a reporter. She's not actually at the track on the race weekends, but she does all the TV stuff for Fox during the week on NASCAR race day, NASCAR race hub. So, yeah, that's kind of a small world. Chase Purdy, full-time driver for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the NASCAR Truck Series. His grandfather had delivered Shannon Spake when Spake was born. It's a small world after all. Those are the kind of stories you hear during baseball games when it's like 5th inning, 13-0. It's just a complete blowout. You just hear random stories like that. That's what this is. I mean, we are under a rain delay. Red flag will be lifted here shortly. Teams have pulled the covers off the race trucks. The drivers are getting back in the trucks. We're looking at going green here pretty shortly. So we will be back to racing very, very soon. I don't know if the fake LeBron James is speaking as if he's LeBron James in the chat. We have Patrick Mahomes and LeBron James. Crazy. Appreciate everybody sticking out the rain delay, though. We've lost some viewers, but quite a few have stayed. Going to get back to racing here shortly. Our goal was 100 likes. We obliterated that, so we set a new goal mid-race to 200. See if we can get there. And second straight night, we have hit our goal of 100 likes. I think we ended up with 104, 105 last night, and tonight we are at 131. Might have to set that goal a little higher for the Xfinity Series race tomorrow evening. Again, our stream for that will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can also tune in earlier in the afternoon. I'll be doing a live commentary for the ARCA race at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And, of course, the Daytona 500 on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next weekend's events at Auto Club for the NASCAR Xfinity and NASCAR Cup Series. I will not be going to Auto Club this year. And that race, not sure on the start times for those, but we will be live for both of those races next week on the channel as well. So Saturday for the Xfinity Race Cup on Sunday. I was going to say the cover was still on in 2 or 3 of the race trucks yet. Aerial shot that they had shown. But yeah, still just over 130 people watching. Dan Church, welcome into the stream. Also, races on Fox Sports 1. So FS1, catch the end of this. I'm glad they've kept this race on Fox Sports 1 the whole time because I do not have Fox Sports 2 with my bundle package on Hulu. I say that because they've gone well past the scheduled airtime. I think it was supposed to go to 10. So I'd imagine that as soon as this race ends, we'll probably get an interview from Zane Smith, and that would be about it. Who's Chris Hacker, 27th? I have no clue, honestly, who that guy is. But he is on the lead lap in the 30 truck, and you just never know at Daytona. Maybe he can win it. Kind of feel bad for Zane Smith, though. Sounded like he won the race. Has to get back in and race again. Yeah, that's got to be tough. That has to be tough. On MRN. I mean, this is like MRN 2.0. MRN 1.5. Race is not over. Nope, they have not called it, and in fact, they are actually about to go back racing here shortly, so you're coming back at the right time. From Indiana, good short track racer. Yeah, I've never heard of him. Did he run truck races last year? Because I honestly have zero clue. Some of these backmarker drivers in the truck and sometimes in the Xfinity series kind of come up out of nowhere, so less like, where they're from, maybe locally. You could say, oh yeah, I watched this guy race late models at such and such speedway, local track. I feel like you don't know a lot of these guys. Or wouldn't. Late night racing with your host, Keegan Schneider. Yep. Should work for MRN. I wish, man. They don't have any job openings as far as I know. Well, not for this. I've looked. They have like job openings for like other like production crew stuff, but I'd get in obviously for the commentating reasons. Not necessarily producing a show. I don't I don't have any sort of a degree for that. No criteria there. I've never even been in a production meeting, so let alone trying to run stuff like that. So just a reminder that there are currently about seven drivers that are actually out of the race due to incidents so far today. Dean Thompson, Haley Deegan, Clay Greenfield, Cody Rodabaugh, Parker Kligerman, Brett Holmes, Daniel Dye, and Raja Karuth are out. Stuart Friesen is 5 laps down to 28th, out from really having a shot to win the race today. 27 trucks on the lead lap, though, have a shot to win. Some with damage, some without. A couple drivers that do have damage from wrecks or wrecks so far in the race today. Ben Rhodes had quite a bit of damage, but he's driven his way back up to 11th. Matt DiBenedetto has been through the ringer. He's been in 2 different accidents today and is still on the lead lap in 22nd. So he's hanging on. Turn announcer or pit. Yeah, that's where you'd get the start. This is my consolation prize, I guess, for being a NASCAR commentator, I guess. I get to, do this for you guys. I still get paid doing it. Not quite as handsomely, but it's a good secondary gig for right now. Not settling by any means, but it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, Haley got in a wreck earlier in the race. Still on red flag conditions, but they will be lifted very shortly. Red flag for a rain delay that has lasted about 50 minutes so far. Teams got called back to their trucks close to 10 minutes ago now. But they should be firing up the engines here at any moment. And get back to racing here shortly. Kenny Rogers, thanks for tuning in. Travis Pastrana need to win. We'll see. He's in 13th. He's been up towards the front at times in this race. But he's definitely competitive. He's in a competitive truck, and he's right near a teammate, Carson Hocevar. So, see if those Nice trucks can work together, get to the front of the field. Oh, yeah, no, you would get paid way more if I worked at MRN, for sure. I barely get paid enough now. That's why I'm working a full-time job elsewhere. That's why I try to squeeze ads in during these live commentary streams. I don't overload them with you like Fox does, but I have them at times. I plan on getting 3 to 4 out every race. I've only gotten 2 out so far. We will get another one out here eventually before they go back to green. Red flag is lifted, though. They should get back to racing here shortly. Hacker ran some races for Nice Motorsports in 2021. Honestly, never really recognized the name, to be completely honest. I mean, with my work schedule, though, I've been working at the job I'm at currently since, like, January of 2021. I never really got to watch truck or Xfinity races because I worked every Friday, Saturday for the last couple years. So very few races. If it was on a Friday night, it'd be the only time I could watch it. But any races on Saturday, haven't really been able to watch it, which is the reason why I haven't been able to do live commentary for the truck and Xfinity races hardly ever. Did a few of them last year, a couple the year before, and that was it. But this year we'll be doing it full time. Drivers who are running for the truck title have red Craftsman banners on the windows. Those that do not have black banners on the windows, in case you didn't know. I actually did not know that. That's an interesting fact. Did not know that. Joe Moore was your favorite at MRN. You can't beat Ken Squire. I mean, let's be honest. You're talking all time. I don't know if you're talking all time or not. Well, you didn't say best. You said your favorite. That's reasonable. If we had to debate the best, though, there's no debate. It's Ken Squire. Has anybody ever heard Alan Bestwick's MRN calls like back in the early 90s? His voice was like, it almost sounded like Adam Alexander now as far as like high octave. Young Alan Bestwick was different. Got about 150 people watching. Got people tuning back in. They know it's back under caution flight conditions. We're going to get to the end of this race pretty shortly. Fox on a commercial break. We'll take our final break of the night. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Oh my gosh, what did I do here? Ah, okay. I lost. Hang on. I'm lost. I messed something up here. Hang on. There we go. Okay. We're good. All right. What I was saying, we'll cut the break and then we'll get back with the finish of this race. I don't know what I did there, but something happened. Thought I accidentally closed out of the stream for a second. Flagging the buy a ride. I'm not able to get the full chat back up on my phone for some reason. Racing at 25K. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see Tyler Carpenter drive the 41 again this year in the dirt race. Maybe a good chance. A good chance he'll probably be back in it, the dirt race at Bristol, but guess you just don't know what team he'll race for. Sure, he's probably got close ties with the Nice Motorsports team. I think it'd be cool to see Pastrana in the dirt race, actually. I think he could have a good run. Radio in with 98 of Majeski right now.
The camera off of Zane, and it's got water all over it. Saying the track's fine, but with this heavy mist, I don't know how it gets any better. You know, I mean, it's not as bad as it's been up here, but pretty close. You know, it just kind of keeps flowing, so you just keep aware.
Yeah, Tim Duggar there on the back, he says he's getting wet. Basically, that's what's going on. Country music star, big NASCAR fan.
But doesn't short out his guitar, electric guitar.
He's got a new song. Might as well buy a bar. Things aren't going well, think I'll just buy a bar.
After tonight, I might buy one. You know what I'm saying?
What about those Craftsman stickers on the front windshield? If they're red, I think that means the truck is running full-time and for a title. Is that correct?
We were just talking about that.
Yes, and black indicates that's the other side of it, not running full-time for the championship.
Part-timer, I love that. I do too. Look at that truck.
We were just talking about that.
Still in contention.
5-10 minutes ago. Somebody in the chat mentioned it.
And there's Chase Elliott
with a black background on the white Craftsman.
Napa Auto Care on the back of that truck. A lot of the Napa guests are here. Wonder if they're still here. I'd say so.
Absolutely.
Just in front of Chase Elliott, the 88 of Matt Craft in 9th right now.
Here is that trial. That trial was still wet. Yeah, it's raining pretty hard through here, misting heavier.
That's an observation that I will agree with as we look out the window up toward the lights on the speedway.
It is crazy, though. I mean, right as soon as they fired the engines and drove off the pit lane, we looked out the window, and you could see the mist hit return.
Well, that's great.
I looked at the forecast, looked at the radar, and I thought we'll be fine. I mean, there might be some off and on, but there's no long-term rain, so we should get it in. But
please.
Gosh, given the way this is unfolded, I almost feel like we're lucky to be where we are in this race.
3/4 of the way through this race.
We haven't had a green flag lap in like an hour. Last thing I want to do is just wait around longer.
Position, but he's been right up front.
It is definitely raining once again,
he's
though.
been right up front all night long, very competitive and very aggressive, putting himself in a position to grab the lead. I like what I'm seeing out of this team, especially after the chat I had with him yesterday and his energy and enthusiasm for this 2023 season. Sounded like he was 21 instead of up in his mid-40s.
You talk about drivers that have put together a positive performance. I know he wants to go back racing and get a little more, but Tyler Ankrum has been solid. Wins the stage, 7th right now, and Corey Heim behind him really was quiet through the first 2 stages, came to life and put himself in the mix and rides around 8th. Driving one of those Toyotas for Tricon Garage. Rookie of the Year last year, and as we've talked about multiple times this evening too, ARCA wins coming right here at Daytona.
2 wins in the Truck Series last year.
Yeah, one of them at Atlanta in the draft.
Well, I believe that was the last lap pass. Honest.
Oh, that was a thriller. Yeah. Saw Nick Sanchez on pit road. He's hoping to do what Corey Heim did last year, and that's when Rookie of the Year. Started on the pole earlier today, and I know he was disappointed in where he was during the red flag when he was talking to our folks downstairs, but felt like if we could get going once again, he could make a play.
Huckleberry and Joseph Riley, Nate Smith, also welcome into the stream. FS1's frozen. Not on my end. Hopefully. Back to caution flag conditions following a nearly 1-hour rain delay. But still under caution, though, and the rain started to return as soon as they got the engines fired back up after the track was dried off. It is misting right now. But they have not brought the trucks back to pit road. Again, still under caution. 22 laps to go this time by at the line. One of the Kyle Busch Motorsports crew members that are working on the 51 of Jack Wood right now has a Pittsburgh Pirates baseball helmet as like an actual race helmet. Like, it is a legitimate helmet. It's got the MLB logo on the back of it, and the Pittsburgh Pirates logo on the front. Trying to cue up Chase Elliott on the Fox Booth radio.
Hey, Chase, it's Waltrip and the boys in the booth up here for Fox. Do you copy?
How's it going?
It's going great. Looks like you're having a lot of fun. I just kind of was curious as a veteran, what do you think about the track conditions right now, and how's your night going? That's 2 questions.
Yeah, that is too. Well, the track looks fine to me. I would love to get this show on the road myself, but otherwise it's been fun. I've never speedway raced a truck before, so it's been eye-opening. But I appreciate all these guys for having me, and hope that you guys have enjoyed a little bit of the show at least.
It's been fun to watch. I know it's crazy out there. Are you surprised at the aggression, and can it go up any further?
Oh, it can always get worse. There's no question about that. So I would imagine if we get back on, there'll be plenty to see.
Appreciate your time. Close her out for us.
You bet. Thanks. Y'all enjoy.
Sometime I would like to hear more about It's Been Eye-Opening. I mean, I don't know which direction he would have gone if he expanded on that, but I feel like he had a whole lot to say on that subject. It really is interesting when you look at these trucks inside the top 10. Some of them look like they just were unloaded off the hauler. They look like they're in great shape. Others, like Ben Rhodes, I mean, feeling the effects of what has been a crazy night, but he's been able to stay in the game. 9th right now is the 99.
DLS Richard. Jack makes memes. D4NK Fury. Others welcome in. I notice a lot of you guys in the chat are saying that FS1's frozen on your end. It is not frozen on mine. We still have working well on my end. So after about a 1 hour red flag delay for rain, they got back to caution, and immediately after the cars left pit road, there is a misty rain forming once again at the Daytona International Speedway. And we will hope for the best here that they can get this race in. We have 21 laps to go. They've been running caution laps since they lifted the red flag. They went under red flag with 27 to go. So 6 caution laps since the red flag has been lifted. Lights are still out on the pace truck, so they won't be going green this time by. And honestly, I think they're just going to wait this out again. And if they end up losing the track again, I think they have to call it. I thought they should have called it before. I didn't realize that, maybe... And I'm sure NASCAR's looking at the radar, and the radar wasn't really showing much rain. And it was supposed to clear up after 10 o'clock, which it did. But now it looks like there's a mist again in the 11 o'clock hour that was not forecasted, and I think that's what led into NASCAR's decision to get this race back running again, and obviously not calling it when they did. And as you can see, the trucks are back on the track. We just haven't been able to get back to green because there's more rain, unfortunately. But if they lose the track again, I think they have to call it. I mean, because then we're just going to have another 1 hour rain delay, and then we're looking at midnight just to get the final less than 20 laps in. So we're running out of laps in this race right now under caution. And they are bringing the trucks back to pit road again with 20 laps to go this time by. So it looks like we'll be back to red flag conditions for the 3rd time tonight, as rain has plagued this NextEra Energy 250 at Daytona. Unbelievable. Tammy Shevlin Galligan, thanks for tuning in. Frozen after reset. I am shocked at how many people are talking about issues with FS1 being frozen. It is not frozen on my end somehow. I am not streaming this illegally. This is on Hulu, so maybe if you have Hulu, it's working fine for you guys. But appreciate everybody tuning in, though. Whether you tuned in for the whole race, just tuning in for the first time tonight, whether you're a current viewer of the channel, subscriber, I should say, of the channel or not. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, though, if you are not subscribed. Hit the like button as well. Helps these streams out, helps me out a ton. We'll be going live again tomorrow for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Daytona. And we will also be going live for the ARCA race tomorrow at Daytona as well. ARCA race stream starts at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. And at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be our Xfinity race coverage. Back to red flag conditions for the third time today for rain. Will this be the canceler of this race? This actually stinks that this stream has gone on an extra hour. That just to run 6 more caution laps. Man. Zane Smith, currently your race leader. Watch on cable, Spectrum. Michael Jenkins, thanks for tuning in. Diana Alves, thanks for tuning in. Frozen on your end. Watch on TV, no streaming. Yeah, it's weird that some people it's frozen and some people it's not. Luckily, I'm one of the ones that does not have it frozen. Especially with streaming. I don't know what I would do if I did lose it. Delays back-to-back. NASCAR look at the time. I haven't pulled the radar up for a little bit. Let me try pulling that up. I mean, not that that's really going to do much. It didn't look like there was much in the first place. It's just a misty rain. Kind of similar to the situation at Texas back in 2020 where there's a mist because the radar isn't showing anything. The radar is not showing any rain, and the precipitation percentage for the 11 o'clock hour at Daytona Beach, Florida is only 7%. But it is obviously raining at the track right now, so that would not be accurate. But it is so light of a rain that it is not being picked up on radars. And again, this is Daytona. I'll zoom into the racetrack just like I did earlier. So here is Daytona. Zoomed into the racetrack. I'll show you guys on the camera. But this is the live radar. There is no green. Nothing. There is no rain being picked up on the radar at Daytona. I have it playing right now. This was a little bit ago. It's gone, and now from now on, hour by hour, there's nothing. There is no rain. So, no rain on the radar, but it is obviously raining at the track for anybody that is able to watch on Fox Sports 1. Could be a Spectrum thing. Yeah, it's possible. Spectrum not pay their bills. Hacker gained 2 spots. Yeah, tough break for Nick Sanchez and Jack Wood pitting when they did. Sanchez, I believe, was running 19th when the red flag came out. I'm not sure where Jack Wood was running, but they definitely lost some positions due to going back to caution flag conditions. They pitted made some repairs, being involved in earlier accidents. Why throw the red flag for nothing? No, I mean, it's raining. The radar just isn't showing it. But you can clearly tell by the cameras, Fox's cameras specifically, that it is. I mean, there's raindrops on the camera they're showing right now. And when they have a close-up on the track lights, you can see the rain actually falling. So it is definitely raining. It's just the radar is not picking anything up. It's almost identical to the Texas Motor Speedway track conditions back in 2020 when it was misting for like 3 days and nothing was on the radar. God forbid that happens this weekend. Oh my gosh, could you imagine the Daytona 500 on like a Wednesday night? I mean, I can't really remember correctly with the Texas incident, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly with the Texas Motor Speedway incident that it wasn't picked up on the radar too. So we really didn't know when the race is going back to racing. But in this situation, it's almost kind of the same thing. I'll take the time now to talk about the NASCAR Fantasy League. I haven't talked about that yet today. You can join on the NASCAR mobile app or website. Search for KRC League, KRC in all caps, capital L on League. I'll put it in the chat real quick. I'll actually show you guys on screen right here. This is how you get to the league. All right, we'll go to... hang on. Before I do that, they are making this race official. Zane Smith has just won the NextEra Energy 250 at Daytona. NASCAR has deemed this race official. Third red flag for rain today. And with just 20 laps to go, it is done. Zane Smith is your winner. Regan Smith is with him.
Down here, Zane Smith just now getting the word back-to-back at Daytona. How's this one feel compared to last year?
I know there's about a million ways to get one at Daytona, but we're proving that. So obviously wanted to go back racing there somewhat to duke it out with good friends of mine, actually. But hey, we'll take a win at Daytona any day we get. Just a huge shout out to everyone at Front Row Motorsports. This whole group, man, I've said it over and over again, they work their guts out, and it proves it. So, or they prove it. But locked in the playoffs, it's like a repeat of last year.
You gonna carry this umbrella all the way through till Sunday? This thing's been like your security blanket here.
I love it. I love it. You never know what can happen in this Daytona 500. I can't wait for Sunday. This whole week is just turning into something special. So, just loving life right now.
Zane Smith wins at Daytona.
In 2022, he wins the season opener in Daytona, goes on to win the championship. And he comes in here, the reigning champ, and once again has claimed victory.
I get it, reigning champ.
Tell that smile on his face.
I believe he is the first driver in NASCAR Truck Series history to win back-to-back Daytona races to start the season. I could be wrong on that, but my recollection, I don't believe in the 23-year history of the Truck Series racing here that anybody has won back-to-back Daytona race. Actually, now that I think about it, didn't Grant Enfinger do it? I'm probably wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. I'm starting to second guess myself. I could probably look it up on Racing Reference, but we've streamed long enough today. This race has gone way longer than anybody could have expected. There wasn't really any rain on the radar. It was just a mist that wasn't picked up on the radar, and here we are. But we have deemed this race official. Hopefully weather stays away, or at least rain stays away from the Daytona International Speedway the rest of the weekend. We'll go through the finishing results real quick, and then I'll show you guys the fantasy situation, and then we'll go on with our nights. So Zane Smith is your race winner under caution after 79 completed laps out of 100 due to a rain-shortened race. Tanner Gray finishes in second place. Christian Eckes finishes third. Eckes also won stage number 1. Colby Howard finishes fourth. Good top 5 for him. Grant Enfinger ends up 5th. Ty Majeski 6th, Tyler Ankrum 7th. Ankrum ended up winning stage number 2. Corey Heim in the 11 truck finishes 8th. Max Craftsman gets a 9th place finish, and Chase Elliott will get a top 10 tonight at Daytona, finishing in 10th. Ben Rhodes finishes 11th with a heavily damaged race car. Carson Hocevar 12th. Travis Pastrana 13th. Sammy Smith 14th. Jay White in 15th. Timmy Hill in 16th. Chase Purdy 17th. Derek Kraus 18th. Josh Ream 19th. Matt DiBenedetto finishes 20th. Involved in a couple wrecks today, but still finishes on the lead lap. Jason White finishes 21st. Chris Wright in 22nd. Corey LaJoie 23rd. Mason Massey 24th. Chris Hacker 25th. Nick Sanchez 26th. And Jack Wood 27th. The last 2 trucks on the lead lap. They pitted under the caution, so we had a red flag. It got lifted with 27 laps to go. They ran 6 laps under the caution, and then they ended up having the rain come back. They went back to red flag and just called the race. Those 2 drivers pitted. I know Sanchez was 19th. I'm not sure exactly where Jack Wood was running, but they both lost positions pitting under the caution flag when the race ended up not getting another green flag. Lap ran after the second red flag. Unfortunately for them, they lost some points there. They are running full-time for the Truck Series this season, so that's tough. Stuart Friesen finishes 5 laps down at 28th. He was involved in a wreck at the end of Stage 2 on a bad block on Ben Rhodes. That's where Rhodes got his damage as well. Was off the pace there. Again, finished 5 laps down, but finished 28th. And then everybody from 29th on back DNF today due to various wrecks. Raja Caruth actually got wrecked by Zane Smith, who won the race. Zane Smith threw a bad block, and Caruth ended up wrecking as a result. Daniel Dye was collected in that accident, also DNF'd. Brett Holmes was also collected in that one. Holmes was in a different wreck, but he DNF'd. Parker Kligerman had wrecked out, finishes 32nd. Cody Rodeball 33rd, Clay Greenfield in 34th, Haley Deegan 35th, and Dean Thompson 35th. Those last 3 finishers were involved in the first wreck today, midway through stage number 2. So that is going to end up finishing tonight's race. 21 lead changes in today's race in total, 10 different leaders. And the driver who won the race led 17 laps of the 79 completed. That was Zane Smith. The 2 drivers tied for the most laps led of Corey LaJoie and Christian Eckes with each 19 laps led. So that wraps it up. Again, hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Before we get out of here, I want to show you guys the Fantasy League. If you're not already joined, be sure to do so. You got a chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing for next season if you win the regular season or playoff championship. So definitely be sure to do so. You have to be a subscriber of the channel, so if you're not subscribed, definitely be sure to hit subscribe. Go onto the NASCAR mobile app or website. I'll show you right here on the website side of things where to go. So you can see New Fantasy Live right up here on the quick link. So go to Fantasy Live. It is the same rules as last year and the year before on the channel when we have played. This is going to be the 3rd year of the league. And you get to pick 5 drivers every week. Actually, you pick 6 drivers every week, but one of which is a garage driver. Basically, what you do is you swap the garage driver out for any of your starting 5. It locks at the end of Stage 2 in the Cup race every weekend. So if a driver gets involved in an early wreck and he's in your starting lineup, you can put him in your garage for your garage driver so you can try to get some points. Or maybe didn't even do good in the stages, so you put him in your garage that way. And then there's bonus points for head-to-head matchups this week. Kyle Busch versus Reddick, Bubba Wallace versus Austin Dillon. Truex versus Keselowski, Chastain versus Hamlin. Funny how they did that. But anyway, you pick head-to-head for 10 bonus points per every one you get correct there. As far as where to sign up, you just go into the league. If you're not already in a league, you sign up with your email. Again, it is free to join. And then when you go to your entries, which I'll go to right here, I have 2 of them, but I put the same entries in both. It'll ask you what league you want to be in. Or you go to league. Whatever the case is, I can't remember exactly where you go, but you go to league, and you can just search for this one right here, KRC League. KRC in all caps, space, capital L on league. I'll put it in the chat real quick. But there's only 100 spots. There's 91 of you guys still watching, so with only 100 spots left available, definitely want to get in on this as soon as you possibly can. I think there are 29 or 39 spots in the league from last season. So, running out of entries. Again, it is free to join. Chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing. And you have to be a subscriber of the channel as well while playing. That's the only stipulation. If you win the championship and you're not a subscriber of the channel, you will not get the ticket. So definitely subscribe. It's free to subscribe to the channel also. So there you have it. That is going to end tonight's stream. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And again, we'll be back live a couple more times yet this weekend. Congratulations to Zane Smith for locking himself into the playoffs for the Truck Series already, winning the first truck race of the season, going back-to-back at Daytona. We'll see if he can go back-to-back for truck titles as well this year. Tune in tomorrow. Our start times, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing live commentary for the ARCA race, the General Tire 200. And then I'll also be doing a second live stream tomorrow for the Xfinity race. That will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be live, of course, on Sunday for the Daytona 500 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every truck Xfinity Cup race I don't go to in person, you can tune in right here on the channel every week for live commentary, live streams, and then at-track content for the tracks I go to in person as well. Appreciate the support as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. Friday night. Good rest of your Friday night. See you guys tomorrow, everybody.